On this episode of Podigious.
You're my partner.
I'm your what?
I wish you were my brother.
You don't know what this means to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye, Mom.
You're gonna need a password.
You can use mine to get on the internet.
Podigious.
Welcome to Podigious, episode 306, Family Tiebreaker.
Tokyo Devas Part 3.
Jeri, Family Matters, and Tokyo Devas Wrap-Up.
Recorded April 9th, 2016.
Podigious is your critically nostalgic, analytical tour through the Digimon anime. I'm Jeff Ruberg, and I'm joined by Ashley McDonald.
He's a pig! What'd you expect?
Okay.
I still just love the way he said pig.
Who said that?
War Grandma.
Okay.
Who else
Okay.
would Ashley be quoting?
I don't know. It still doesn't make any sense to me. And Asher Softman.
You know, it's been like 2 years and I'm still like unsure why we are calling this the Digimon anime. Like, it's a little pretentious.
Really? I mean,
This whole line is still pretentious.
because it's saying anime?
Well, I mean, the whole rest of the line is pretentious already, so maybe that's what's doing it.
Right, it's saying analytical tour is pretentious, but like anime is just to clarify that we're not, like, that we don't focus on the toys or the video games, or there's a lot of aspects of the franchise that we don't care about.
Yeah. I think anime's taken on kind of a life of its own as a term, and we could refer to it as the Digimon cartoon or whatever.
Whoa. Now you're going to the extreme.
Yeah.
And awkwardly segueing, and Andrew Softman.
I'm the only survivor left. Oh wait, there's everyone.
We're all just so weird.
Is that a reference to the Skype problems or to the show?
The Skype problems.
All of these intros are going to be so weird to explain. So we're all confused and weird because we've been trying to record this for an hour and a half and finally getting things maybe working now. So, technical problems.
Technical problems in a Digimon podcast.
Yeah, it's Digimon in the network messing things up. So a couple things I want to get out of the way in our intro first. That last episode released was the April Fool's episode, and I forgot to do this in that actual episode, but I'm really curious how people reacted to the episode, and basically if they were fooled or confused by what we were doing, and when they realized what was going on, and if you enjoyed that or just found it annoying. So. Yeah, I'm really curious. We heard a couple people say how far they got into it, but I'm really curious if you want to leave a comment in this episode or that episode saying when you started noticing it. I'm kind of worried that, like, since Lane is more of an obscure thing than Pokemon Origins, that people will not have caught on to it as easily as last year's. But that was the thing. The second thing I wanted to get out of the way in the beginning is that we are planning to record next weekend. So hopefully you'll be hearing this. Hopefully we'll release this episode around the beginning of the week, and then next weekend. So the weekend of April 16th, we are planning to record a kind of tribute episode to Watakoji, who, if you haven't heard, passed away. The news came out a couple of days ago. He passed away on April 3rd, and it's really sad. And Watakoji is the songwriter, composer, singer of a lot of really great Digimon songs in Japanese, and very integrally tied with the series. And it's really sad that he passed away. And I know from myself, his music, I have a lot of really strong memories with it, and I figure a lot of listeners do too. And so I wanted to do something special for that, and wanted to hear stories from listeners and read them on air and stuff. So if you have stories you want to share, send it to us through email, through the forum, or you can record a voicemail and send it to us via email, all the standard ways. So that'd be cool if we get some hopefully happy stories, and I don't have to be just happy, but like it'd be nice to, in this sad time, kind of reflect on the happy moments that his music has given us. Yeah. So without further ado, let's jump into Tamers.
Tamers.
This week we're looking at episodes 21 through 24.
In episode 21, Jeri's Quest, aka Jeri's Not Lying, Kazu and Kenta start to envy the Digi 1%, which causes Jeri to realize she wants to be a main character too. She tries to become Calamon's tamer, but quickly realizes nothing can tame cuteness and instead tries to tame a lion.
In episode 22, The Boar Wars, aka The Boar You Know, Impmon finds an upgraded version of Matt's emo cave. Yamaki and John Yu's budding romance is put to the test. The kids learn how to recognize patterns and to believe in the heart of the cards.
In episode 23, A World Apart, aka The Boar War Encore, Yumaki interrupts the boar parade with a skylight show. Monkey Kid reveals himself to be Monkey Deva and throws a super monkey ball to finally put the knot in Juggernaut. Leomon becomes a monkey's uncle.
In episode 24, the journey begins, aka 6 young kids go to camp for the summer. The kids try to find a portal to the digital world but struggle because the most popular search engine in 2001 was Ask Jeeves. The kids avoid saying goodbye to their family but say goodbye to the only family that actually matters, their school mom. Meanwhile, Takato's dad makes bread. The kids dig deeper and then go on their way to the place where monsters rule.
そう僕は気づいたんだずっと宿題忘れた
So this arc is basically Leomon introduction episode, Goofy episode, then 22 and 23 were the mid-season, mid-series, whatever, climax, where things change, and then last episode was saying goodbye.
And the art is bad.
Oh yeah, the art was bad.
The art took a nosedive.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Huh.
Why do you never notice when this happens?
I don't know. I think it's always true.
It was literally quality in one episode.
I guess I haven't been as attuned to the art changing in Tamers too much.
I mean, but Guillaume's face always gets really weird and stuff.
You're just racist. So I hadn't really noticed this pattern, but I first saw it pointed out in A.R. Pulver's System Restore blog. He does like recap review thingies of each episode of the dub. And so in one, I can't remember which episode it was, but one of his articles about these episodes mentioned that like the two-part battle follows a pretty standard formula in anime that are this long of like midway through having some like climactic event that changes things for the rest of the season. And yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
I guess like the parallels of Adventure were the Metal Greymon versus Edamon fight, kind of like immediately shifting tone, and the defeating the Digimon Emperor around the same point in the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of those, this season really does, I think, really interesting job of just like everything completely changes after this. Well, not completely, like this, like they finally enter a different setting. It's very different.
Mm.
I mean, is it more jarring because in the other seasons we start out in the digital world, which is the jarring part, and then coming back to the real world, it's kind of like, I know what that's like.
Well, season 2's not really like that.
Yeah, no, season 2 is more like a shift in, what they're doing.
Shift in tone.
Yeah.
And I feel like this shift is more like season 2's shift than season 1's shift.
Well, I don't know. I feel like season 2 was definitely like they have a very big, they have a big purpose, which is taking down Ken. And then once they take down Ken, it's kind of like they're very aimless for a while. So I think this one's like,
well, yeah.
This one I really like what this arc does and giving them a strong purpose for once. I mean, for a while they've just been like sitting around waiting for Devas to happen, and now they're like, we have a mission, we have a goal, we have a quest.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel bad about saying this because it's like exactly what we said in our fake episode supposedly covering these episodes. But I really like how Jeri gets more focus in these episodes, and actual Jeri, not Lane. I guess it was kind of necessary if they were going to bring her along to the digital world. But it's also like we get more time with her without really being. There's still lots of things unexplored to kind of be revealed later.
Mm-hmm.
I curious how everyone else felt, because I felt like the whole 2-part battle was pretty lackluster. It felt to me very slow and...
Oh my gosh, I was like, please stop battling. Please end this. Something has to happen. I need... Episode 23 or whatever, I was like, it needs to... No, I can't.
So what did you find frustrating? Just it was going too long, or did you...
I think it was just... It was set up to be... It was the one... Like, all of these episodes were much higher on the humor, but also much higher on the, like, seriousness. And actually, surprisingly, in the other 3 episodes, I thought that was acceptable. And I actually found them really funny and touching and everything, despite all the humor. But, like, episode 23, because the humor actually sets up the boar Deva to, like, be a big joke, but also tries to have it be like, it's destroying like so many things. I was like, I just can't deal with this balance that is not being struck correctly.
Yeah. It feels like it's like two completely separate things that aren't on the same wavelength. They're not on the same page at all. It's like the humor totally undercuts the seriousness, and the seriousness has no place for humor, and not no place for humor, but no place for humor of the kind that is like, wow, he really stinks, doesn't he? This isn't kosher. Like,
yeah, it was all just way too much. And it's like, but he, like, the board does bring, like, is kind of a comical, like, villain, but it's also just visually not portrayed as being that comical.
Unless you find pigs inherently funny like I do.
Yeah, and there's, I mean, yeah, there is some of that, but just like visually the show is not trying to, like, he does look fierce and, like, you know, is brown, I don't know, which is like,
wow, what was that, Ashley?
I don't know. It's not like he's like a cutesy pig, like, trying to...
I mean, he looks like Swinub, the Pokemon, and that's so cute. I love Swinub.
Nah, he looks more like Pillow Swine.
Well, yeah, okay, he's much larger than Swinub, but I like Swinub.
I do not know this Pokemon.
It's cute.
Oh, does look like that.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a place for humor. There's a place where they could have met a good balance between humor and drama, and it's not. They did not hit it.
I have something to say about this. Well, not the humor per se, but the pacing for these two episodes was really weird because then they allot like a whole minute or two to a bunch of stuff happening. Literally in 1 minute, Kalamon gets kidnapped, Leomon tries saving him, Leomon gets beat up by the bird thing in the sky, falls to the ground, Jeri gets a Digivice, Jeri heals Leomon, a bunch of other stuff happens that I can't remember off the top of my head, but this was all like in the span of 1 minute, and it could have been spread out if they shortened the actual fight between everyone and, what's the name of the Digimon again?
Vicarolomon.
That one.
Or Deva.
I don't...
Yeah, like, they could have made this a lot shorter.
But, like, I mean, I feel like those events happening quickly in rapid succession make sense. It's more just that, like, everything else was so long that... I guess I agree that there is an odd contrast between the two, but I think the fault is in the other stuff for just being too long. I don't think they should have expanded out like, it made sense that it'll happen in rapid succession.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot one more thing that happens. Impmon goes to the digital world or something.
Yeah.
That was all in that, like, 1 minute.
I definitely found that acceptable and the stuff before it not acceptable.
No, but they could have allotted a lot more time to this. Because it just feels rushed.
I feel conflicted because, like, the idea of a single fight lasting 2 episodes, that seems like it has a lot of promise, and it seems like there's a room for a lot of, like, strategy or, you know, like, the battle going back and forth and, like, tug of war kind of thing. Seems like it could be cool, but I feel like instead this just came off as, like, stalling almost. It's like one side gets the upper hand, the other side gets the upper hand, then Hypnos paralyzes everyone, then Hypnos gets destroyed, and then the one side gets the upper hand, the other side, like, it's just kind of going back and forth for no reason.
Yeah, there was no reason for War Growlmon to be out that long, basically.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I wonder how much of this fight felt stale because we know that they're going to win against Vicaromon, and it's Makuramon who's the threat. And I wonder if we didn't know that knowledge, like the first time we watched it, it would have had a lot more stakes and be like, oh my god, he's actually going to destroy the city, or like doing this is going to have some severe impact on the kids or something.
No, I think watching it, I knew that the monkey kid was way scarier than the pig. Because they make jokes about the pig, but even when they make jokes about the monkey, like, he's scary.
I really like Makuramon's reveal.
Can we not use their names? I don't know any of their names, Jeff.
Oh, it starts with M for monkey.
Well, what's the pig?
Pigmon? No, that's Vicarolomon, but I'm not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, so Makuramon I think is important enough. I think he's like the one Deva that he is worth using the name for.
Okay, no, there is at least one other Deva that I will fight you about, but that one hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, I really liked his reveal. I think like he's so effectively creepy. Like he's like unsettling, but also really dangerous seeming, and especially like his scream and they do lots of visual effects to that too, and just like ugh. And the fact that he's been present so long in the background as like comic relief makes his dramatic turn give it so much more weight, I thought.
Yeah.
Sort of.
He's like the Puppetmon of Tamers.
Yeah, kinda.
Except even creepier because he can turn his head.
Oh, that was freaking creepy.
He's creepier, but I think Puppetmon is scarier as an adult. Like,
well, Puppetmon's more deranged.
Yeah, that's basically.
Yeah,
what it is.
Papamon's scary, but like McCormon's creepy because it's like he was like alongside them, like one of them.
It's Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Like not in a visual sense, but in an acting sense. Like he looked pretty much like a kid before, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, like Uncanny Valley visually is kind of like you look at it and you're like, that's just gross. Like I didn't get that sense from looking at his character design, but whenever he acted, whenever he did anything, it would like be like that. There's something very off about this. How does everyone feel about the idea of devoting an entire episode to them like planning to go to the digital world?
It works, sort of.
Sort of.
I mean, what they did probably wasn't the best, but it works.
Well, yeah, I mean, them being smart, I think, is different from like it working dramatically.
No, I don't think what they did was smart. Like, I think...
No, yeah, I agree. I don't think it's... I think we all agree that it wasn't very smart.
Well, they should definitely not take their friends to the most dangerous place.
Yeah.
But even just like why explain to Miss Asagi? Like, I don't... It just shows that words of reassurance often don't work.
But you're saying they should have just not explained to her at all?
Yeah. Like, she's going to worry either way. Now she's worrying before they even, like, anything even happened.
Well, I appreciate that they came clean.
I think there's a big difference between a group of kids disappearing without any notice and a group of kids saying, we are going off on our own. You know, like one eliminates the possibility of them being kidnapped and murdered.
But I just don't think that they need, like, I'm like, fine, you can tell your parents or whoever, your grandparents. I just don't think that they needed to tell their teacher. Yeah,
I guess the teacher thing seems weird. Yeah, it seems weird, but I guess I feel like it makes sense as a viewer because you're like, oh, Misagi is one of these like parental-esque figures that have been in this show.
Sometimes.
Also, for me, like, it sort of redeems the way they treated, the way the Adventure Kids, both seasons of that, treated Mr. Fujiyama, where he was solely the butt of jokes and didn't understand anything. Like, I just appreciate the reversal of them coming clean to everyone they came clean to.
I guess. But it was off-putting to me that Miss Asagi, I mean, I guess because it was all four of them there is what makes sense about it. But, like, she ended up having one of the most strong negative or any reaction, really. Like, she was given the most, like, time, is what it felt like.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a lot of pressure to put on someone who technically is responsible for you.
Yeah. In her shoes, I would not have let them go.
I would have called the police.
Yeah.
Just find it all very strange.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, like, what, like, if she called the police, what could they have... I don't really know like, what she could have done to stop them because they weren't like skipping school. They were just saying, like, we're not going to come back to school tomorrow.
That's called skipping school.
No, but like, what do you do? Like arrest them because they say they're not coming tomorrow? Like they haven't yet not shown up.
No, they would have been like, kids, we need to talk.
She should have like talked to their parents. I mean, like you need to stop them.
Yeah, they would have brought them to their parents and they would have had an actual discussion about this.
But that's no different than what actually did happen.
Yeah, but it would have been a lot more awkward.
I mean, we'll get to like the way they talk to their family and stuff later, but like they don't all, you know, have direct, honest conversations with all of their parents. I mean, the thing is, Miss Asagi is the one parental figure that they all have in common.
Sure.
And I guess maybe they didn't want to show us Kazu and Kenta's parents. They're like, I'm going to create families for these kids.
Designing characters.
It's the one time we actually get to see Kazu, Kenta, and kind of Jeri, you know, like have a moment. So I guess it works on that level too.
I don't know. To me, it's just like the predictability of a setup where it's like, we're going to go tell our parents that we're going to go to a digital world. And like most of them, except for Takado's father, are going to be like, no, you should not do that.
Because they shouldn't.
Or like, I guess Rika's grandmother. So they only confessed to people that they were like, yeah, maybe they'll be okay. But like, it's just like, that's what makes it kind of boring.
It's also pretty real, though. Like, if I was going to do something, whether or not my parents, or whether or not somebody wanted me to or not, like, I wouldn't tell the people that wouldn't want me to do it and would actively stop me from doing it.
Right, but we're not shown the people that are lying to their parents. We're shown the people that do tell them, and then you get the predictable storyline. Like,
Yeah.
So what you're saying, like, you would have wished something, like some kind of change in these dynamics, something like Rika tells her mom and like they have an emotional bond, and then they like that's like their relationship as before is now different because they've bonded, or like something that isn't just like this is how we've seen them all before and like this is what we would expect them to do, and like I can kind of see that.
not even that. It's more like if you're going to show me 2 characters be honest out of the 6, then show me 2 that aren't being honest. Like, show me Kenta and Kazu leaving, having not told their parents.
I think we've seen plenty of. We'll get to like the character by character. I think we'll get to plenty of dishonesty that was shown. We didn't get to see any like people who were just like, I'm just not going to tell anyone. Which I guess Kazu and one of them lies, the other one just like leaves a note or something.
Yeah, Kazu lied. Kenta left a note.
Those are all like the points, like the general discussion points. Are there any other general arc-wide things to talk about before we get into favorites?
Nope.
Okay, Ashley, who's your favorite character?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Rika. Mostly because I really enjoyed the moment where Jeri is like, teach me how to play cards to Kazu and Kenta and Takato, and they're like, what? No, just give me all your good cards. She's like, no, I'm not going to stand for this. And then Rika comes and is like, I will teach you. And I'm like, yes, Rika in her element.
That was a good moment. I really liked that moment too.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of Rika as a teacher/senpai.
Yes.
Ashley, do you have a favorite episode?
I mean, I had a ridiculous smile on my face throughout episode 21 that I cannot quite explain. I was quite endeared to the ridiculousness of Jeri chasing around Leomon, apparently.
I like that you're like, I don't understand, but apparently my face says that I like this episode. I mean, I'd have to agree. Like that was definitely my favorite episode.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have plenty of frustrations with it, but I feel like it was. I felt like pretty unique and rare for what we've seen of Tamers. Like the tone and the silly antics throughout. And I don't know. I think we'll probably get into later like frustrations with it. But yeah, like seeing Jeri run around on her own, I guess I didn't find that funny. Like seeing her run around with Takato on the phone and stuff.
That was funny.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a favorite episode?
Mine was episode 24.
Because of the emotions?
Well,
Yeah. I liked having like actual almost all the adults had fairly real responses. The only one I don't believe was Takato's dad. Like, what was up with that? That's stupid.
Takato's dad is like, it all makes sense now.
I also just hated the gender dynamics.
Well, I hated the gender dynamics in episode 21, so.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's one of my primary frustrations with that. But
yeah,
like the dynamic of just like, silly woman, I'm going to bake bread, and that like I am deciding that we are okay with this was.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me as much as anything that happened in episode 21.
Oh, yeah.
What about episode 22? I mean, it was pretty much leftovers from 21.
I don't actually remember anything about episode 22, and I watched it today.
I mean, there was that line that Rika has. It's like, I thought guys only liked posters of girls in bikinis while she's with her grandmother and sees Henry.
Yeah,
and I was like, what is this?
And it came back, and I was like, I'm not dealing with this.
That whole poster thing was not okay.
They're like 10.
Yeah.
Well,
It was a
12 in
very
the
strange
dub,
situation.
because that's totally better.
Very weird.
At the same time, though, people totally socialize at that age or younger. Like, ooh, girls in bikinis. Like, even if they are not themselves actually interested, there's a culture of like, you got to pretend you're interested.
I guess that's true, but like it just felt like it was a sign with a bunch of postcards on it.
It just was not the right situation. Yeah.
No, it was like a bunch of postcards, like to make it about like a poster for.
I mean, it was completely out of place and bad, but like, yeah, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying like that happens.
Oh my god, I know what it was. I know what the poster is.
What?
It was for the Chinese New Year.
I mean, it was like postcards to send that had zodiac signs on them.
No, but it was postcards for the Chinese New Year.
Well, that's what confused me about that, because like, wouldn't there only be one relevant zodiac sign?
Yeah, it was
that
the one,
year?
the rabbit.
But that doesn't make like.
No, the rabbit said Happy New Year on it.
I know, but like the rabbit was 1999, and this is set in 2001. 2001 was the year of the snake.
Don't tell the animators.
I was like, are they just confused? Like, is it just like, are they just ignoring that detail? Because I feel like
It's
maybe
Toei. What do you expect from them?
I was wondering if they were like, oh crap, well, it's the year of the snake, and we kind of just like the snake was unimportant, and the rabbit is actually kind of important to the plot. So let's make it the year of the rabbit in this universe.
Let's make a subtle hint to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the other awful gender thing in 22 was the beginning where Takado's mom is yelling at him that he needs to study, and he's like, I'm going to the park. And then he's like, she must have gotten a degree in nagging with a minor in yelling. I was like, ugh, okay. Which I think is what reinforces that when Takado's dad then is just like, I'm the chill one here. Just feels kind of like, okay.
I guess like their dynamic doesn't bother me so much because it's actually fairly similar to my parents' dynamic. Wouldn't you say, Andrew, where dad's the chill one and mom's kind of all over the place?
I guess.
Andrew's like, I
don't want to incriminate myself in this. Okay, so enough about episodes. Asher, who was your favorite character in these episodes?
Oh God, I don't know. Leomon.
Ooh.
Wild card.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't have like a super favorite this time, but Leomon had a lot of really good lines.
He did. I liked when he ran away at the end of episode 21, being like, it's too sad. I was like, I love you, Leomon.
I have something to say about that. I don't like that.
You don't like that?
Not cool, Leomon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have something to say about Jeri in a moment, so we'll get to it.
Okay.
Okay, Andrew, who's your favorite character?
Riley.
Wow.
One
the real
moment
wild card. Wow. Sorry, I said wild card.
Wild card. She has she changes Yamaki in that one moment.
She has like 2 lines in these whole episodes.
So?
She's like, okay, you can stay here, I'm going to leave. And then Yamaki, do something.
Yamaki, do something now that you left.
No, but but in those moments you do see the dynamic between the two of them. Also, she somehow can get into his house apartment thing.
She can?
I assume that she
when did that happen?
Was sleeping there.
When Yamaki's on his computer at his apartment.
Yeah.
She was there.
I did not see that. Okay. I stopped paying attention about halfway through.
What was your favorite episode?
In 24?
Yeah, this was 24. She's pretty much the reason that Yamaki starts to get on the communicator thing, which he makes one of.
So there are details later on about how they're in a relationship. So I just read that as like, okay, yeah, they are living together or have access to others.
I don't think they're living together. I think she just has a key.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, wait, didn't they imply at the end of 23 that he was like, staying, that he was like almost being like a captain, like I'm going to stay with my ship as it drowns?
Yeah,
but, like,
they did, and then they just ruined the dramatic tension immediately.
Wait, so did they show that he was safe later in that episode?
They showed he was safe in episode 24.
Yeah, he was completely fine.
Yeah, so it wasn't immediately later.
Like, he wasn't even injured.
But it was at least the next episode, right?
Yeah, it was the next episode.
Okay. Because I remember like not really like what I forgot about it. I was like, oh yeah, wasn't he supposed to die? No, okay.
It's a kid show.
So my favorite character. Can you guess who my favorite character is?
Jeri.
There were 3 different guesses. I think Ashley was right with Jeri.
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, her name starts with J, so she gets an automatic point.
Second of all, she has reddish hair.
Wait, she does?
Oh my god! Why are we?
wait. Speaking of Digimon Tamers character hair color news, I have recently learned in the past week or so that Rika has red hair, and so I guess she's my new favorite character. Yes, she has brown hair. Jeri, at least
it's reddish.
It's
kind of.
It is no more brown or red than Rika's. Like.
You're just confusing me. Like I'm.
Also, Riley has reddish hair.
Not enough.
Riley,
also,
I think, has the most red hair.
Jeff is colorblind.
I know.
So I don't think that actually matters.
I think he's trying to mess me up.
He's definitely trying to mess you up. Don't listen to him.
Everyone has red hair. Didn't you know that?
So yeah, Jeri, I thought it was nice to start to see her perspective and to kind of learn more about her, even though we haven't really learned more about her family situation, but we've seen glimpses into it and seen glimpses into her problems. Yeah. Speaking of which, Any more favorite things? Should we move on to the first commercial?
I like when, what's the other girl's name?
Was it the other girl?
Riley's partner.
Oh, Tally?
I like when she falls out of the, like, she just falls out of the chair to escape.
I guess I missed that.
I legitimately was very upset when Henry tells Susie, like, give me Terriermon. There was an earthquake. I'm leaving you here by yourself.
Right?
And then Susie was like, I wish you were not my brother. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sad right now. Such upsetting turn of events.
As an older brother, I can tell you that totally happens all the time.
As somebody who doesn't have siblings, I'm just like, oh my God.
そう僕は気づいたんだずっと宿題忘れた
Podigious is right back after a word from FoxKids.
This morning on Digimon, Impmon picked the wrong Deva to bada boom, and he's not the only one in over his head.
Get him, Calamon!
But it's Leomon who comes to Jeri's rescue. How romantic. Digimon, Saga of the Devas continues with 2 all-new episodes this morning starting at 9 Eastern, 8 Central and Pacific on Fox Kids.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh, boy.
Fox Kids is into furries.
I mean, I kept being like, yeah, Leomon has a nice... Why are we actually pushing this?
I don't know. A lot of people seem to be furries in these episodes.
There are more people?
Rika's grandmother kind of makes a comment on Renamon. I mean, it's not
Oh,
bad.
she does say she's beautiful. But
Well, Renamon is beautiful. Like, she's aesthetically pleasing.
yeah, that wasn't...
It's not like she didn't say, oh, Renamon, you're so foxy.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised that she didn't.
The way you said Foxy, oh my. You were basically just like,
Oh, but she should have.
Renamon, you're so foxy.
Never again, Jeff.
Please don't ever say that. Oh, Jesus. I felt like there were more romantic vibes between Rika and Renamon because Renamon was all like, I will protect her with my life, and then they like stare at each other for like 5 seconds.
It's also like a meet the parents thing, except it's her grandmother.
Yeah. It was shipping Rika and Renamon if it was shipping anybody.
Although, like, I'm more comfortable with Rika and Grandma. Or not with Rika,
What?
with Renamon and Grandma. I'm not comfortable with Rika and Grandma in the least.
Wait, who are you comfortable with here? What?
Renamon and Grandma.
All right.
I think that's a good match.
Okay.
ビガビガすれば夢見ることが全て始まりそれが答えだろう誰より遠くへ飛んでみせるよ全ての明日を貫いて
So now that we have gotten some more perspective on Jeri, I think it's a good time to do a brief little character study of her and what we've learned and everything. And first thing I want to talk about was how we felt about the episode 21 and the whole Leomon stuff being romantic. And I wrote here super romantic because, that commercial just showed it.
Ugh.
That commercial, I don't think was even like off base from what the show itself was portraying.
It's true. It's just gross.
In the Japanese version, there's a little music plays that like is definitely a like romantic suggestive thing when she does one of her. So, okay.
私が教えてあげる。
It's just like
Sexy jazz music.
What song is it?
I don't know.
It's Careless Whisper.
Oh,
Are you
that's what
humming
it's called?
the saxophone intro to Careless Whisper?
Yes. Is that what the?
Yes,
Is that what the song is called?
Yes, that's what it's called.
Is that what's the importance of that song? Is that like a
It's played whenever something sexy is about to happen.
So yeah. I feel uncomfortable. Does anyone else feel uncomfortable?
Pretty uncomfortable.
Like even not just the like not in a like oh my god furries are gross way. I just mean like the age dynamic, the
age dynamic. Also, Leomon was super uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, it was totally one-sided and
it's also portrayed as a joke.
Because Leomon is a cowboy. I'm going to maintain this.
Actually, no. All right. I guess this was in our like pre-recording that got cut off, so listeners might not understand. But you were insistent on Leomon being a cowboy based on.
He is a cowboy archetype. Yes, he is.
How?
He's a warrior archetype.
He's not. He
He's
rides
a
away in the
Leomon.
sunset.
Do cowboys enter in a rainbow?
Well, I don't know what the warriors enter in a rainbow. Like, that doesn't support your argument.
Yeah, they do sometimes.
What? No, get out.
Watch the end of Red Cliff sometime.
Whatever. All right, you know what? I just encourage everybody to read the essay that it is in. Oh man, I don't remember what crazy
It's in one of your Hunger Games books, right?
thing I read. Yeah, it's in one of my Hunger Games books. It's about how Gale is a cowboy knight archetype, and as such, he was destined like not to be with Katniss or whatever because he just sacrificed too much, which is a lie when it comes to Gale.
Yeah.
I mean, my stance with this cowboy thing is that like I can see how maybe the tropes are pulled from that kind of fiction, but that like when like viewers don't get that signal, then it's like, okay, it kind of is interesting on a academic level to see where the things come from, but like if most viewers don't get the impression of cowboy, then it's like, I think it matters less.
I mean, that was all I could think about as I watched that episode.
That's because you just read an essay.
I suppose, but
Yeah.
It was not an essay about Digimon.
But yeah, so Leomon is totally not into it, and it's totally just played for laughs that, like, if she just keeps trying... I mean, what I appreciate about it is that, like, well, it's kind of weird because eventually they do become tamers by what we've seen, like, as the end of 23.
Because there's no theme at all in Digimon Tamers of, wishing or something.
But I like how it's like her wish is a very selfish one that doesn't really respect Leomon's feelings, and she has to learn to give it up, or to, like, she doesn't get reward. Like, it actually kind of bothered me on a sexism level, because I feel like there are lots of times in Digimon where, like, guys have a very selfish or not very well-intentioned wish, or just, like, do something selfish or whatever. Like Tai in, I forget what, in episode 2 of Adventure, where, like, he eats all the food and then he's rewarded for it, or I guess he feeds all the food to Agumon or whatever. But, like, things like that, the guys seem to be rewarded for that kind of stuff, whereas Jeri does something like that, and it's like she needs to be taken down and taught a lesson. But I don't know, I guess that's kind of conflicted, because like then she eventually does get Leomon, and I hadn't thought of it from the perspective of, like, wishes becoming real because Digimon and friendship and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I find that frustrating when it's like her wish overpasses Leomon's wish. Like, Leomon wants to be independent
because he's a cowboy. Yes.
Ashley, you're a cowboy.
Okay. Then, Jeffrey, that means that we're destined not to, like, I have to go wander.
Have you ever wandered?
Well, then I guess I'm not a cowboy now, am I?
No, you're not. It also seems like a bad message to reinforce that, like, Jeri, it kind of sends a signal of, like, this is how girls act. They just chase boys, and, like, yeah. But it's interesting how much I could like that episode and find it frustrating.
I mean, yeah, it's a totally fascinating episode. But I mean, at the same time, it's like... I get the impression that no matter what Digimon had popped out of the rainbow, Jeri would have tried to go after it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wait, I totally didn't get the impression at all. I thought it was like, I got the impression was that, like,
no,
she was so impressed by, but like she was like explicitly, like, seemed to be impressed by Leomon. Like,
I mean, she knows Leo. She has a Leomon card, but if any other Digimon had popped up that she recognized, I think she would have been happy. She just wanted a partner. She wasn't that interested in...
And, like, if it had been if it had defeated Rat, whatever, Deva...
Yeah, I don't know, Kumbarimon or something like that. Kumbiramon.
Like, it still would have impressed her, and she would have been like, all right, cool. Like she was willing to be with Calamon before. Like, come on.
Yeah, really.
Oh, what's wrong with Calamon?
What isn't wrong with Calamon?
You can't see me, but I just gave my laptop screen a disgusted look.
And so, I mean, on that level, to me, it's almost worse that they were like, well, we want it to be... Like, they didn't have to make it about lusting after hot Digimon boys or whatever, but they, like, chose to make it that.
Although I do like that Jeri gets badass Leomon. Like, that's cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the end point.
Actually, funny thing about Leomon.
Yeah.
There's a Leomon playset, and I'm pretty sure it's the only toy ever to get an actual figurine of Jeri.
All right. But see, Leomon is destined to die because he's a cowboy and Jeri tamed him, and that's
No.
just not allowed.
No. Okay.
Leomon
So-
is a Bon Jovi song.
That's a fact.
And anyway, as I alluded to before, I actually didn't, upon first watching, I didn't find the scene at the end of 201, the scene at the end of 21 very impactful, since I knew it's when Jerry's basically crying because Leomon walked away. And I guess I didn't find it impactful because like I know that Leomon's going to become her partner, and soon, even it's like 2 episodes later. So I was like, this, whatever, like, okay, this seems random and silly that she doesn't just get him now, like, whatever. But then I thought about it some more, and it's just like the idea that everyone leaves her, and I think she explicitly says to Takato to like that she wants to be alone, but everyone else just like gets away because they're kind of not disgusted by her feelings, but they're just like, oh, let's get away from this train wreck. Like, the more I thought of it, the more I'm just like, this is really sad.
I can't deal with this. That's like what they were doing.
Like, she's just, yeah, exactly. Or like, I don't want to deal with this, even.
Well, yeah, people are generally uncomfortable when people start to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, people are definitely uncomfortable when people start to cry, but like, they don't just leave them on the floor of a park alone, and you're like...
Well, it depends culturally. Some cultures, like, you don't want to be seen when you're crying.
Yeah.
I also got the impression that it was like, I mean that it is sad because that I think like Henry and Rika were always like, well, you kind of deserved it, Jeri. Like, we tried to tell you, sort of deal.
They were like, they didn't know what to say because they didn't want to make her feel bad, but they also
were like, I have nothing nice to say to you, basically, so I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah, I'm actually super curious if anyone has more experience with Japanese culture, if you can, explain to us, like, because I really don't know what the expectation is in Japanese culture of, like, if someone's crying, are you like expected to avoid that, or like are they expected to be like left, like ignored and treated like they're in private, or are you kind of expected to help them out?
I don't know. You guys are the ones who have been to Japan.
Or you can just ask Answer Man on Anime News Network.
I meant like if listeners have experience, they can write it. Not like
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. I thought you were asking us, and I was like, who are you asking?
Yeah. Okay. To be clear, I mean, asking listeners if they have more experience and can let us know, because I think that's an important angle to it in the original intent, at least. Yeah, but like I guess it's for, like, especially it totally makes sense that Rika wouldn't be one to support her, but like to see her earlier. Oh wait, no, it's later. Yeah, it's later actually. I'm confused. Where she like teaches Jeri and stuff.
Yeah, because I think in the first episode, it's just like Jeri's hiding the cards and they fall out awkwardly in that one scene. Mm-hmm. And that's when she's implied to have like looked at them. And then it's the next episode or whatever when she's like determined to become
good enough to have a partner.
Yeah.
The very best, like no one ever was.
And that's when Rika helps her.
I find that really endearing of her, that she doesn't just come out of it as like, well, this Digimon thing was a waste, like I'm just going to give up completely, but she still wants to try in other ways.
That's true. She recognized in herself that she was like, maybe I need to do things to actually deserve a Digimon partner.
Although the whole idea of deserving a Digimon partner is very...
I don't know, but it's nice in comparison to like Kazu and Kenta, who are very, very, at least Kazu feels like he's very certain, like, I deserve a Digimon, like, I'm gonna get one eventually.
Right, yeah, I guess it's like they feel entitled to them, whereas Jeri's like, I need to work for this. And I appreciate that, but I guess I find it uncomfortable, the idea that like Takato or Rika and Henry are like superior or better people for the fact that they got them first or whatever. Like that idea I'm not so comfortable with.
I suppose. I mean, if that happened, you would, like, until Jeri got a Digimon, I would believe that, like, none of them had a chance or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, because it just seemed like, okay, well, there's this formula, like, there are 3 main kids, like, that's just how it is, like, it almost seems like it's not a matter of choosing who's special, as is, like, I don't know, kind of random circumstances, or I guess in Rika is kind of seems to be definitely chosen for, like, she's the best at the card game, whatever, but everyone else seems like it's almost kind of random and it need to just be 3 kids, and I don't know. Henry's
not that random.
Yeah.
That's also very true. Yeah, he's very connected to the source of the game.
And Takato's not really that random either. Like, he pours a lot of energy into Digimon.
Well, if you go by that, then why isn't Kazu one yet?
Kazu isn't one yet because he hasn't, like, created anything of his own yet. Takato actually did.
I would say that, like... There's
none of them
exceptional
are-
things about the three of them
Yeah,
that like
that's a very good
Jeri
point.
and Kenta and Kazu are just like trying to imitate at this point, but like don't actually put in the effort. That's why it's refreshing to see Jeri be like, okay, actually, wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, to be clear, I take back my statement. Yeah, you're all right. That there are things about all three of them that make them more quote unquote qualified. Or I guess I just still like I like made a joke or whatever in the
Right.
I forget like about like the Digi 1% whatever. I still find it uncomfortable, the idea that like the haves and have nots in terms of who's a tamer. But
I'm not sure it's totally qualification so much as an access point. Yeah, they need a connection. Kazu likes things because he's excitable, and yeah, once he actually has a real love, maybe that's what it is love for Digimon. Jeri loved Leomon, and she got Leomon.
Yeah, she melted Leomon's heart.
I mean, the turn for Jeri of actually getting the Digivice and becoming his partner seems to come once he's in danger, and she expresses, because like in episode 21, like he seems to always be have the higher ground, and she doesn't have to worry about his safety, as I recall. So like I was just trying to read into like what that means, that like when she gets the Digivice is when he's in danger and she cares for him. And I guess it shows that like that's not just a selfish kind of love, it's a caring for his safety too.
And it's also just like a tool for her to actually help when she wants to help.
Yeah, because he got hurt helping her.
Yeah.
Like, he came back purposely to be like, no, I can't let Jeri get hurt or whatever.
Yeah.
So it just shows that they want to help each other.
But I thought he came back to he went to try to stop Caliban from being grabbed.
I think that is true, but then he had a moment where like, this is for you, kid.
that sounds like a cowboy thing to say.
That's not a cowboy thing to say. That's a very like 50s movie thing to say. Yeah.
So more on Jeri. We got like a really brief glimpse at her family life, and I think this was cut out. I think this was in our pre-talk where we were talking about how her family life is like almost like a mirror of Takado's. Like she's in a similar kind of like storefront. And you were saying it's what was it? I missed what kind of shop it was.
I think it's ramen, but I'm not sure.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's definitely a traditional restaurant.
Is ramen a traditional?
Well, ramen's basically a Japanese version of Chinese food.
I guess I just don't know like how old or new ramen is.
Probably late 1800s.
Been around a while.
Oh, okay. Oops. Do you remember what episode that was in?
It was in
24.
It was in like all of them.
I'm thinking when like we show her or we see her, like put her shoes up and
her
walk
dad
upstairs.
like says something and gets the orange juice for Leomon.
Oh yeah, the orange juice.
Yeah, so it's got to be 24.
No, but I feel like we also saw it in 21.
So I'm looking at it now. It does look like it's unclear. It's not like very specific. It looks like a ramen shop.
I thought it looked like a bar.
Yeah, but it's like a bar.
It's a restaurant.
It's pretty small, so it could. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's like a restaurant, a ramen shop.
I can believe it's a ramen shop.
Yeah, ramen shop is what I'm leaning towards. But if listeners, you have any other information, let us know. But yeah, so like it's a similar setup of like shop on the first floor, giving away food, not giving away, selling food, and then like house on the upper floor. Like it's an interesting mirror of Takado's family life, but like the one interaction we see with her father is not very positive. I forget exactly what she said.
It's not that
like
bad.
overly negative.
Yeah,
either.
it seems fairly normal. We have certain opinions. But
we have other things that are coloring.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't see much about her family life, but we are definitely seeing some of it. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about her family later. So our next topic is a Patreon suggested topic from our Patreon Sam Kriwagamon/Sam Krieger. And so here's what he wrote in. In this season, more than any other, we're shown home life for the children. Each family and homestead is fairly unique for each child. Takado, an only child, small house above a store, both working parents. Henry, many siblings, fairly decent sized apartment. Father works and has a stay-at-home mother, ? Rika, an only child, more traditional style house, single parent and grandmother. Mother is absent a fair amount for work, and grandmother cares for the home. So I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on the following areas, and then a bunch of topics we'll look at too in turn. One thing I just wanted to mention, I forget where I was reading this. It must have been some notes about Tamers, but I don't think this is actually mentioned. I don't think there's any answer in the dub, and I don't think it's in the Japanese version either, but I think it's in Kanaka's notes. He describes Henry's mother, or whatever Henry's Japanese name is, and I can't remember it now because my brain's not working.
Genria.
Genria. Yeah, so Henry's mother in Kanaka's notes, I believe, is mentioned to be a graphic designer. So there is at least at some stage of planning the idea that Henry's mother is not a stay-at-home mother.
Or she could work from home.
Well, she could, yeah. Couldn't she work from home?
It's true. I guess I also don't remember if there are signs that she was working from home either. So it's possible.
We've only seen like small parts of Henry's apartment, so I don't know.
In the very few scenes that we've seen his mother, I feel like she was always taking care of Susie, where they were like eating dinner.
Yeah.
One of my biggest frustrations with the way family is portrayed in the season is how, maybe not how little, but like how much of Henry's family life that we see is so specifically targeted at Susie and his dad. And like he has an older brother, an older sister, and a mother. We see his mother a couple times, but like the older brother and older sister like practically don't exist.
They're just always out partying.
Jeff, like that, from a writing standpoint, like you can't have too many characters. Like it works really badly. And they're not, Henry's important, like the way he defines himself is all tied up in Susie and his dad. So like I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I see that, and that makes sense. And I also think
there are only so many characters I can pay attention to.
I also was wondering, like kind of playing devil's advocate to my own position, because I feel like I don't know if we know what ages his older siblings are, and it would totally make sense for them to be of ages, like maybe they're in college and they're not living at home, or maybe they're just like in high school and they're just like, like Ashley said, spending all their time partying, or maybe not partying, but like
that's
studying,
not what high school
is
like for many people,
especially in Japan.
But yeah, they might just have a very different schedule and don't have much to say to Henry. He's 10,
right? So yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of reminds me of the vibe I got from Yuli in season 2, which was like her large family was a very big part of her character that we barely ever got to see. And it's like, but I mean, I guess that's very different, because like that felt like that was like a flaw of the writing. We didn't get to see them. Whereas in Tamers, we do get to see the parts of his family that really do define him. And it's just the other ones are not there. Yeah, because of practicality. And so I guess it's like a minor concern. And it's like, I guess it'd be nice to see them in the background more. But yeah, I agree that they really couldn't be like prominent characters, because then we'd just be like overflowing with characters.
Mm-hmm. And then like Henry's family would just take up way too much of the show.
It could just be called Full House and it would be about Henry's family.
I mean, I would watch it, but that's not what the show is about.
So the first point that Sam mentioned in his topic, so these are things he wanted to hear us talk about, was representation and realism. But yeah, he also references like linking back to season 1 and season 2 stuff, like Izzy's parents, Matt and TK's parents, Cody's dad, etc. So yeah, I mean, this is like a more what's it called? Like more entries in a long line of showing a wide variety of different parental structures and family structures, and I think that's really cool.
I mean, again, I don't have any siblings, so I don't know exactly what that's like.
So you are like, who in Digimon doesn't have siblings? Mimi?
Rika.
Yeah, Rika, okay.
I'm exactly like Rika.
okay, no. Actually, you're not exactly Rika. Your dad is still present. You don't have a grandmother living with you. I think you're more similar to Mimi. Like, I mean, Mimi's parents are totally your parents. Totally.
I can't tell if this is not serious, right?
This is sarcastic, yes.
Okay.
I'm imagining the image they have on their like door or whatever, where it's like the two parents being all like whatever, lovey. Anyway.
So I don't know. I think I would like to believe that Henry would not leave Susie in that situation very specifically, but apparently Asher was this cruel to Andrew all the time, so...
Oh, absolutely.
Well, not that cruel.
Well, I mean, also, like, Henry had two duties at that moment. One was to Susie and one was to, saving the city. And he picked saving the city because that includes saving Susie, but yes, it was a betrayal of his brotherly duty to comfort her.
Yeah. I really liked, I found episode 22 and 23 dull on lots of levels, but one of the things I really liked about episode 22 was the portrayal of, like, for all three of the main characters, it showed them having conflicts with their family in the beginning of the episode, which then tied into them being like, we need to protect our families, and just showing that family relationships are not, just a rosy, like, we all love each other all the time, but like, we kind of get annoyed at each other, and like, we say things like, I wish you weren't my brother, but we still protect each other and still fight to, well, we don't all, fight to save the city for each other, but you know what I mean, that like...
If they had Digimon, they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, conflict is kind of an inevitable part of any strong relationship.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess also looking at like I feel like some of the family dynamics from season 1 are a bit more iconic, like Izzy's adoption and Matt and TK's separation. Like, in some ways, I feel like those are more iconic than these family structures.
I'm trying to articulate what I feel a key difference is in them. And it's just like, I feel like we get much more interaction between the kids and the parents in Tamers. Whereas I feel like a lot of things that happen in season 1 with Izzy's parents are either viewers getting to see their perspective where Izzy is not present, or Izzy mostly like kind of overhearing something that they said, but they don't know that he's listening. Aside from like direct like confrontations, like they come into his room sometimes in like 02 and give food and like stuff. But all those things that I remember being iconic were like sort of like them being separate.
Yeah, and Tamers does so Adventure did a thing where it defined a lot of these characters by their issues with their family, right. Solely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about solely, but like it's kind of like,
well, not solely, but like that's how they.
But like it was a very key identifying.
Yeah, how they picture themselves is their role in their family. Like Matt is TK's brother. Like that's his. That's his thing.
But even more than that, Matt is TK's kind of estranged brother. You know, like like the fact that parents are separated and divorced, whatever,
is a huge deal,
right? Is it? But it's kind of like they're kind of like bullets in a list of character traits for the kids, almost.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that they're bullets. It's like the vase that the rest of the bullets get poured into.
What?
I don't know why you're putting bullets in a vase, but
yeah, something like that.
This metaphor took a weird turn.
Y'all have new, interesting modern art. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Whereas in Tamers, it's more like the parents, the families are sort of characters. I mean, so they were so in Adventure too, but like they actually have maybe not most, a lot of the parents or guardians or whatever have either plot roles or relationships with each other that you can sort of see the kids learning from. It's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
A digi dynamic?
It's less that like I guess it's in Adventure, the parents are sort of like, this is why the kids are this way. This is like a focus on the past. While in Tamers, it's like, this is where the kids are.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's like the characters of the family in the other seasons were kind of like, they were defining characteristics first, and then secondary, they had to like exist in some roles, so they wrote lines for them. Whereas here, it's like, they're like players that the main characters bounce off of and learn from and have key, not just relationships with, but like, you know, like they change because of them. And yeah, I guess that focus on like the past versus the present and future.
Yeah, and I think it affects the way that like the stuff that happens in episode 24 comes off. Like it comes off as much more of these kids in Tamers have chosen, like they are like, I have seen myself grow up in the past 23 episodes or whatever. I am confident that I can handle this task that I know that only like we can complete. I am going to confront my parents about it, even though, because I know that they will be worried, like the tables have turned. We will acknowledge that. Whereas in Adventure, it was kind of just like, you know, they left summer camp, came back, we're like, yeah, there's a difference. But then, like, it's like Asher said, like, most of the drama with their parents was, like, in the past and still, like, kind of dealing with that in the present. But, like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like the interactions between the kids and the parents in either Adventure season were as present as in Tamers.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that there was as much of a conscious decision to either change that past or like take more control of the family dynamics as there is in Tamers.
Mm-hmm.
So who are our favorite family members is the next point of discussion.
Rika's grandma.
Whatever they just said.
She has a name.
Yeah, and I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
It starts with an S.
It's Seiko.
Seiko.
She's the best, consistently.
I think I have her tied with Henry's dad, John Yu.
I think I resent John Yu for being a dude that gets to be involved with the plot.
Okay.
I mean, I like him as a person, but he's like he's a Gary Stu. That's exactly what he is.
Wow.
He's smart and he knows kung fu and he gets to be part of the plot and like.
But he doesn't deserve it?
Why couldn't Rika's grandma be like that, you know?
Well, because she's a woman.
Exactly. So.
Well, at least Henry's dad's team has women on it.
That is true. Henry's dad's team is a very diverse team.
Yeah.
Especially in Japan. Like, what is going on there?
Well, it wasn't supposed to be in, I mean, I don't know how much of the 1984 short story that Konaka wrote that was never translated into English is supposed to be canon in the dub version we're watching. But as I recall, it was meant, like, the research took place in America, I believe.
Why?
I think it was in Silicon Valley.
Because we're the best.
I guess that makes sense.
America exceptionalism.
I mean, Silicon Valley is still pretty central for world technology. Well,
yeah.
Not technology, but like computer stuff.
It's very important that Jeff makes viz apps.
Yes. Anyway,
Yes.
Any least favorite family members?
Oof, some cruel stuff right here.
I was gonna say Henry's older brother, his older sister, and his mom because they are not there.
That doesn't feel fair to hate on them.
I'm mad at them. I'm like, show up, come on, be a part of his life.
That's not their fault.
It's their fault. I'm mad at them.
Like,
did you even know he had an older brother? Like, I knew he had an older sister, but I learned today that he had an olher brother. Like, what?
The news doesn't surprise me. I don't know if I knew it or not. No, didn't we have this discussion before?
I think we have, and I've already forgotten.
Least favorite family member.
I mean, I'm just so diametrically opposed
What about Rika's mom?
Yeah, Rika's mom.
See,
But I don't want to hate her.
I want to like her, yeah. I don't want to say her.
I don't.
Okay, well, you cannot like her. I'm going to choose somebody else.
Ashley, in a lot of ways, she does kind of remind me of your mom in some ways.
That's fair.
You just said the character.
I just said I don't like my mom.
Right. Like, I mean, is there any other parent in the show that reminds you more of your mom?
No.
Does she listen to the podcast? I don't think so.
No, not that I'm aware of.
I bet Rika's mom wouldn't listen to a podcast Rika did either.
My mom is a more calm version of Rika's mom.
Well, I like your mom.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I kind of like all the family members that have any screen time at all. Can I pick Impmon's partners, or do they not count as family members?
I think they can count for this.
Okay, they're kids, and I understand everything about them. But I don't want to be anywhere near them.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, I guess that's a good segue. And one of the bullet points that Sam mentioned was explicitly Rika's relationship with her mother, because the relationship in particular has a lot to talk about, especially because of things she does in these episodes. Yeah.
If you think that Rika's mom is like my mom, and if I am like Rika personality-wise, then I buy this as a totally realistic relationship in which you're like, yeah, like, I don't really agree with, like, half the things you say, but I still love you. It's fine.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure what's there to say that I haven't said before, or that can't be said better later when we know more about how the parents react to the kids coming back.
Yeah, I really don't remember how that plays out, so I'm curious to see.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So, okay, let's move. I have some stuff to say about Riko and Seiko, but I mean, it kind of hinges on the next point of discussion, which is how the kids deal with saying goodbye. So I wanted to talk through like each individually. And so first up, Takato, who I think is the only one who is like fully honest with both of his entire family unit. And I think it's very commendable that he opens up to, everyone he could open up to in that regard. But I just found the whole interaction extremely frustrating because like his mom's, she's very emotional about how it's not safe and stuff. And Takato's like retorting back in ways that, like, they're just not on the same page whatsoever. They're talking about completely different things and neither's acknowledging each other. And I'm just like, I forget the lines of dialogue exactly, but she's saying it's not safe, I can't let you do it. And Takato's like, but we need to save Leomon. And it's like, they're just like not even talking about the same nouns at all. Like, did anyone else find that frustrating?
I feel like I mostly tuned it out because it felt so predictable. I was like, I don't care.
I guess I find the idea of like the mom being, I don't want to use the word hysterical because that kind of implies there's a gendered connotation to that word, but like that she's getting very emotional about it and being, how do I not say the word hysterical? She's getting very emotional about it and like, but instead of ever being talked down from that, instead of engaging on her terms, it's just like the dad just makes bread and is like, we're going to let him do this. And I don't know.
So you're mad that they never acknowledge her.
Right, they never acknowledge her fears and like calm her down from those fears. Like I agree that I found it predictable that she has those fears and gets really emotional about them, but I just was let down, disappointed they didn't acknowledge them, and I trust it.
I also I'm glad she had that reaction.
Those are legitimate fears too. That's the thing. Like
yeah, like that thing just like took out half the city, and her 10-year-old son is like, yeah, so I'm gonna go there. It's like, no. I wouldn't have let all those parental figures actually kind of need to go to jail, but
wow.
Like, frankly, that they should not have allowed that in the least. But then we wouldn't have a show.
Yeah, especially like the difference between like what is practical. Like in real life, you shouldn't be like, I'm gonna go fight monsters. Like, no, like, and you need to. I guess it's just a level of suspension of disbelief that's necessary for fiction of this kind. So next one up, I have written down as Henry, and he opens up just as Susie. The only dialogue we see, and then he says he sent an email to his dad.
He tried to get hold of his dad, and his dad was not available.
Like the whole day, like they had like several days to do this, right? Like a couple days, and he couldn't tell. I guess he waited until the last day and then couldn't find him.
Actually, I'm pretty sure this is like 2 days.
It was not a very long time.
I mean, presumably his dad sleeps at the house.
Yes.
I guess I don't really buy that he, couldn't ever get a hold of him in those 2 days or even that last day.
I buy it because his dad was really preoccupied with what had happened, and I imagine he probably was working a few late nights.
Yeah.
Place of work kind of got destroyed.
Well, then he probably had to talk to the police.
Actually, wait, now, I'm confused. I was going to say, oh yeah, he was busy working at Hypnos, but wait, yeah. I'm also just confused about what his job has always been, because, like, what job did he have where he could just be pulled away to work on Hypnos stuff for weeks or months or whatever?
Oh, probably the kind where Hypnos bribes his place of work, probably.
That's a good point.
Government requisitions. Whee!
Yeah, I guess I didn't actually see what he was doing in those days. So I'm not buying it. You've deconvinced me.
Deconvinced you about what? That he was busy?
Yeah.
I think he was busy.
I don't know, just like...
He had reconnected with his team. Things were going on in this thing he had been passionate about for years of his life.
He's trolling him somehow.
Yeah, like, he had a lot going on, and Henry did try to get hold of him. And, like, the whole, like, image I have of Henry's family is that they are busy a lot, individually, and come together for, like, dinner, and that's it. And that's why Susie's so lonely all the time.
She doesn't even go to school. How old is she?
She's like 4.
So next one is Rika, who tells grandmother, Seiko, and not her mother.
Mm-hmm.
Again, these are the things that make sense. I'm like, it makes sense if she were to tell anyone, it would just be her. I guess it's nice that she told anyone, so that like once she's gone, her grandmother can share her information, and so they're not just like scared out of their mind. But I just want to talk about the moment with putting on the dress for her mom.
Yeah, see, at least she did something.
that moment really hit me. Like, the more I think about it, the more bittersweet it seems. And some of it seems kind of almost sad, and just the best gift she can give to her mom is to like live up to her expectations one time. Just be like, I finally put on this dress you wanted me to try on. Is like the height, like the biggest gift she can give to her mom. Some part of me finds that a little bit sad, but also just like, I buy that it meant a lot to both of them, or at least to her mama. And the whole idea that like, she would do something, it's not just like a gift. It's like here, mom, I'm going to like go along with you more. It seems like the kind of thing that's like, oh, and she's going to get along with me better in the future, set up to be like the thing she gives before she disappears. Like, and it's just like the thought of what her mom would be feeling in that moment of like, oh, things are going to be better now. And then the next day she's gone. Like, I just found that whole situation really bittersweet.
Right. It's just like, it sets it up to be failure though. In that it's like, sets it up to be Rika will change, and this is just a tiny step to like, nope, Rika was just trying to appease me in this one moment so that she could more easily like run away when I had my guard down.
So you're taking a very cynical look to it, I guess. Like, I don't think she's putting her guard down.
I don't know. I think Rika does this from a sincere place of like, I want to make my mom happy in this moment. But I think that the repercussions of it being like, oh, you did it, and then like ran away. And then in the future, anything else would just taint it.
Taint what?
Taint the like hopefulness of her having dressed in a quite honestly awful dress.
Yeah, I don't like the dress at all.
It's just straight up awful. Why?
Yeah. So the last group I had was Kazu, Kenta, and Jeri all lumped together, who they're three that don't get scenes where we see who they told. And we see Kazu and Kenta describing what they did, which makes sense. They're side characters, so like, it would be a lot of effort to like introduce their families and do all that and stuff. But I kind of like how Jeri's lumped into that to kind of like make it unclear at this point, like if she's a main character or not, or like, because I think it's important they don't really show what she said to her parents, and I think it's pretty clear that she didn't say anything. And like by lumping her in with them, it kind of masks that, and you're like, oh, it's because they're side characters. When like, given that we know things that are happening are going to happen in the future, it's like that's not really the case. And yeah, like I think what she literally says is like, oh yeah, I had Leomon tell them, and no, like it's so clearly a really bad lie.
I don't think it's very clearly a lie, but
oh really?
Knowing what I know,
yeah, okay. I guess the way that she like laughed it off, or like her tone.
You guys kept saying it was very clearly a lie, and I was like, I don't think it was.
Really?
It was not clearly a lie.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess just given what we know of her from later on, that makes it clear. But I mean, it just seems weird to be like, not like I introduced them to Leomon, but to be like, yeah, Leomon told them for me. It's like,
yeah,
we know from Try, Leomon doesn't talk very much.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It just seemed like something wacky enough that Jeri would do.
I guess so.
Like it was within the realm of possibility to me. And yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense that the three of them told Mrs. Saji. I guess it just feels weird that Takata was also in on that, but then it would have felt weird if Takata wasn't in on that, because...
Yeah.
But you felt weird that Takata told Mrs. Saji?
Well, it just feels like, if Jeri, Kazu, and Kenta are the three that needed to tell a parental figure, but without like really showing their parents and trying to like introduce a whole new dynamic that you haven't seen before, like shoving it in with the teacher, like only works because you added Takato, but then that's also what makes that whole scene feel like strange. Whole scene is still strange.
I guess I never found it that strange, because it's still like Takato shares her as she's still the single shared parent. Okay, so the next Fox Kids commercial we're going to play, I'm not actually sure when it's from. I forget the date, but I remember playing it in the past and being like, oh, it fits for this time scale. So here we go. You can see it's labeled Hope Against Hate. This should be fun.
That's exactly why I hate Digimon. They're mean and destructive. Well, that's not fair. Not all Digimon are like Impmon. I'm not mean and destructive at all.
Leomon's right. It's not fair to blame all Digimon for the actions of one, especially Impmon. How would you like it if your entire class was blamed for what one kid did?
I bet you wouldn't like it.
We're all different. That's what makes us special, huh?
Digiball, your differences.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Oh boy.
I was on board until that last part.
Digimon, your differences.
What does that even mean?
I am totally saying that all the time now. Oh, that is going to be my intro every episode. Digimon, your differences. Oh, man. That was great stuff.
On some levels, like Never Stop Digivolving isn't that less corny. So I'm like glad they didn't like choose like verbatim what we had chosen as a tagline or whatever. But oh god,
we should change our tagline.
Yeah, we should change our tagline to Digivolve your differences.
Oh no, if we'd seen this before April Fools, that's what we should have ended the April Fools episode with.
Oh yeah.
Oh well.
Oh,
amazing.
boy.
I like how we were all like quiet. We're like, yeah, this commercial like seems pretty. Oh my gosh, this is Digimon
You know, I'm actually curious because, like, so these episodes we're covering now, the episode 23, which ironically is, you know, like features like Twin Towers blowing up, aired 2 days before 9/11 in Japan. And
Oh boy.
yeah, but
Wait,
so like,
no, that can't be right.
I'm pretty sure.
You mean America, right?
No, I mean Japan. I mean, like, the season started in April, and then around episode 20 would be like September. I think in America it aired about 2-3 months later. I think it would have been early December. Because I looked into this recently because like I'm wondering how these aired, and I did not realize that like almost all of Tamers was like totally bunched up. It was like so much of the show was aired in like 2 episodes per week, and then just like right. So it was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It was weird because it also didn't like at like this point where we are now, like episode 22. There was only 2 months between the US and Japanese. Oh, okay, I guess. It's more like 2.5 months. But like that's really short, and it's really short because there was a big gap between the starting and then in the English airing they just like doubled up everything. And then once they hit, they timed it really weirdly. They actually did one more episode of What We See. So they did the first one within the digital world, and then they were off the air for like 3 months.
Awkward.
Yeah, it seems like the cleanest cut would be where we've stopped for these episodes before they go to digital world. Like I remember them making a big deal, like they finally go to the digital world, and then it was just off the air. Or there's no new episodes.
Well, the winter season's kind of dead for TV.
But it's weird because they did that and then came back in February and then did 2 episodes every week until March. And then until mid-March they started doing once a week.
Yeah.
It's just such weird airing. Anyway, the point was that like, so I think these episodes we're watching now would have been airing around December of 2001. But like the footage that they were using in what was the thing we just watched called Hope Against Hate? The footage using that seemed like it was earlier, and I'm wondering if that Hope Against Hate thing aired around the time of 9/11. Actually, if it was like
It sounds like something that could have, yeah.
yeah, like in response to people. Like I don't really like I feel like I wasn't old enough to like, you know, be aware of those kind of tensions, but I'm like was there like schoolyard bullying and stuff and like racism caused by 9/11 backlash?
Yeah.
No. Okay, I know there was racism. I was like in schoolyard. Like
Yeah.
okay,
I
well,
assume.
yeah, I guess I have to assume, but like
I mean, isn't it like, you know, like Muslims living in America have the most like racialized violence against them still because that's the fallout of 9/11.
Isn't it even worse now?
Yeah, like it was getting better, but now is getting worse again.
Especially in this election season, which we are not talking about.
But what surprised me is not that like I get that would like the fact that there was like racialized, especially towards Muslim violence after 9/11, like a undisputable fact. What would surprise me is making a message like this, which would be like counter. Like I feel like what I remember of the time right after 9/11 was like we're all bonding together and like we're a supportive community, and we're not really talking about how we're excluding this racial minority that we don't think is American anymore. You know, like I don't remember at the time, you know, I feel like it wasn't until later that we like, you know, were like publicly speaking about this kind of thing. So it surprised me if like this Fox, like what seems more natural for them to do at the time was that like patriotic, like spread ribbons about America and not this like don't bully people message. I don't know.
I like to think that Fox Kids is not like a hate, like we're gonna ignore hate machine. Like,
well, I just feel like it was like my recollection was it was kind of like viewed as necessary that like, you know, a part of bonding together is maybe we're excluding some people who deserve to be excluded, kind of like really ugly side to things that like wasn't really realized as being ugly at the time. I don't know. Part of this also is like, yeah, I was much younger at the time, so I was not aware of these things, and as a white person was very privileged not to think about these things.
Yeah, I just also don't think the demographics of our school like would lead to that.
地平線まで飛んで行け羽をもらった勇気たち強く大きくなるために僕も走り出そう
So Stray Bits, this is where we put everything else that we wanted to talk about but didn't really fit in anywhere else, just scatter comments. And episode 21, when Kazu and Kenta are like, I don't know if they're right, like pulling Jeri along to spy on the the Digimon partners and stuff. Jeri's like, she like gets cream puffs from Taka's bakery, and then while they're like pulling her, she's like, "You're squishing my cream puffs," and I'm like, is that what they call it these days?
Wow.
On a similar note, what was it? I'm trying to remember who said this. I think it was narrator Davis. I'm not 100% sure. If you just watch the episodes, or maybe you guys remember this. It was episode 23. Pretty sure it was narrator Davis saying, "Too bad Yumaki's playing with his Juggernaut again." And I was like,
Did he say that?
Yes, he did. Someone did.
Oh my gosh.
That would have had to been David.
Definitely not Davis. Getting naughty.
Oh my god. I mean, those things, like, I'm definitely stretching a little bit for humor, but like, those things seem like they're like written by adults who are like, kids aren't gonna get this. This is like innocent fun.
I mean, the Juggernaut one is like, what else could they have possibly meant? But the cream puffs one, I'm like, all right, she was carrying something in the bag. Like, I'm willing.
Well, she was carrying cream puffs. They were cream puffs. Like, oh, you're saying like in the Japanese version? Yeah, I guess they were technically, according to the thing I was reading, they're not cream puffs.
I mean, I don't know what they were, yeah. But like, she was carrying some form of bread thing that would get squished. So like, all right.
Oh. I thought it was really cute isn't the right word, but I really liked Impmon worrying about how everyone else would be thinking about him, and you know, like him being like, they probably think blah blah, and they think blah, and like no one's thinking about him, but
that's true.
Right? It's like
I liked when he was like, I would hate me if I was everybody.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like poignantly, it's like realistically sad how he's like, they're probably talking about you behind my back, and it's like they don't care, and like that's also sad, and you're like,
that's also sad that they have no care about.
Yeah.
But Takato did draw him in like episode 24
Yeah.
when he wasn't paying attention. Like he was in the picture with Kalumon and Gyumon.
That's true. That was kind of weird.
It made me think that was the dialogue different in Japanese? Like it had to be, right?
I didn't remember that being called out in like when I read the list of differences between the two versions. Maybe it was. So Yumaki is an asshole.
But now his heart has grown 3 sizes or something.
So let's back up. Let's go to the beginning. And
all right.
I appreciate how like the veneer of Yumaki like just being totally polite and nice to the monster makers starts to fade away in these episodes, and he's like, no, I need results. And there's like, no, we can't. He's like, no, but I need results. And there's like, you know, like he and Jianyu actually get into fights, and you know, he's not like, it would really bother me how he was like totally mean to the kids and just like, totally cool with monster makers, and I like how that kind of believably dissolved away. But he's just like I don't find him like I found him sympathetic before, but in these episodes, I'm just like, you're just being so obnoxious. And like I remember really liking him, and this time I was like, I really don't like you at all. There's like so little redeemable about you. Like you're. And there was one that like I found that the scene where he like calls a superior, I think it's in episode 22. I found it like made like almost no sense in the dub. It's like he's dealing with a problem and he like calls his superior to be like, I'm dealing with this problem, and it's like that's not something you do when like calling your superior to tell them about the problem you're currently facing is like something you do when you're being really responsible, and you're like, oh, by the way, this is just a heads up, there's like this unforeseen thing and like it might take longer or whatever. Like that's actually the responsible thing. They played it as if he was being irresponsible or like whatever, and apparently it's because like the Japanese version, it's not an outgoing call, it's an incoming call. It's like a superior who's like they're pestering him about like stuff, what he's doing, and Yumaki's like, and the guy is like, you can't use Juggernaut, or it's Shigai in Japanese, like you can't use the program, and he's like, okay, I won't, lying because he's like, I'm gonna do it anyway and get my results.
That is very different.
Right, it makes so much more sense. It's like, because like I've definitely been in that position at work where it's like you kind of think like, well, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna prove that it's gonna work. And then once I prove that it worked, then you're going to be okay with it. And then like I've had plenty of times where I did that and I'm like, it didn't work. And I'm like, well I'm kind of in trouble because I got too arrogant and had to be reprimanded about it. Because like, yeah, I should have, like when things are slipping, you should tell your superiors about it so they know what to account for. But like the time you're like, well, I'll just make it up, and that is bad. Anyway, so like it's weird. Like I sympathize with him on that level, but I'm like, you're just a terrible person. And his turn, episode 24, it just comes out of nowhere. He's like, so he had a similar moment in, I forget what episode number it was, but the last chunk we watched, or 2 chunks ago, whatever, where like he initiates Juggernaut and gets like humbled by the Tamers, or the The Devers, yeah. He gets humbled by the Devas. He gets humbled by the Devas overtaking it and whatever. And his response is not like, okay, I did something wrong. Let me like fix my mistakes. His response is, let me strangle Henry. Like, but for some reason, when this happens, when his building explodes, his reaction is, they probably have something right. Let me be nice to them now. Like, it just, I didn't find it believable at all. And even if he like comes to agree that like, okay, his solution's wrong, like it's not believable at all that he would just trust them now. You know, like I guess if we had some reason to believe that he had a reason to like come, like I guess if he looks back at the evidence of what happened, he'd be like, okay, they've actually fixed lots of things. Maybe I should trust them. But instead it's just presented as me like, I have an idea. Let me take off my glasses and then I'll be nice now.
I mean, yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't either. But at the same time, I'm just like, all right, he's accepting his defeat. He's treated these kids sort of, they've been his rival? Is that the right word? I don't know.
His foil.
They sort of have the same goal in that they want the world to be safe, and they go about it in different ways, and he's accepting his defeat with more grace than he really should have, given a proper character arc, but...
Yeah, I guess I'm like, on some level, I guess I have memories of it being nicer, and so I'm just like, good, now that's happened. Like, let's get out his, like, being annoying out of the way, and, like, let's forget that he was ever that terrible. But I guess it's just, like, I feel like his terribleness was at a peak in this arc, because, like, before I was able to, like, write it off. I was like, he's under lots of pressure, guys. Like, it's okay. He's kind of being mean. He kind of strangled Henry, but, like, he's under lots of pressure. And this is the first time I was like, no, it's not okay, Yamaki. I was starting to ship you and John Yu, and then...
What?
No, I wasn't.
For real?
No, I wasn't. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
You better be sorry.
Oh, Ashley, what was your comment about Daomon, whatever?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I guess because there is Digivolution sequences in this arc, I was like, maybe Daomon's Digivolution is not CGI because she has no metal parts. Like, I think that is the consistent thing that is shown. Like, Rapidmon is mostly metal, or Graumon is metal, Metal Garurumon is obviously metal.
Hot takes there.
War Greymon.
Metal Greymon.
Yeah, Metal Greymon.
Imperial Dramon.
So I'm pretty sure that is actually perhaps the consistent.
Yeah, I guess then we weren't sure about Sylphimon, right?
Right. I didn't check.
Sylphimon doesn't have one.
But does Sylphimon have metal?
Yes.
He has a belt.
The
That's
breastplate thing is metal.
Oh, on a particularly sad note, I posted this on Twitter or social media, but there's a scene that's cut out of the dub that's at the end of the 23. So it's not the one where they like prepare to go to digital. It's the end of the boar fight stuff. And it's them like when Takaido's like, we're going to go to the digital world. And it's like, it just shows like, I guess it shows the four of them. So like the main three plus Jeri. And so like, the main three Digimon plus Leomon. Just like, we went to the digital world. And like they play a happy song. And it's like particularly the image of like, Guilmon, Renamon, Terriermon, and Leomon being like, look at these four, they're totally happy, and like, nothing bad happens. I'm like, And then it's played with a Watakoji song over it. And I'm just like, oh, this is sad on many levels. Yeah.
Zanen desu.
Do we have any thoughts about the new Digimon in these episodes? The Boar Deva, the Rat Deva, and the Monkey Deva?
The Rat Deva is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it was
They're
not
all pretty
attractive
bad.
Digimon. I don't know. I'm still fond of Swinubmon.
At least we know what it is. I didn't know it was a rat for the longest time.
Like, is there some myth it's based on that, like...
I don't know, but it doesn't look like a rat except for the head.
Yeah, I really don't see how it's a rat at all.
Like, look at those legs.
They make frequent jokes about that.
It's like a spider rat.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what is that thing? What is it?
It has wings, too?
Those aren't wings. Those are like, those are its weapons. It literally evolved to not have a body that makes sense.
It is so weird.
Like, it basically evolved to, not make any sense. Basically, Darwin would be like, how the hell does it do anything?
I mean, actually, what it reminds me of more is like, like the future humans in WALL-E. Like he's in like some weird artificial body.
Yeah.
How does it eat?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's also just like...
Shouldn't have mentioned Wally. Now it's all going to go downhill from here.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh God. Eva.
Eva.
Yeah, that was better. Sounds like E.T. though.
Yeah. I mean, Wally looks a little bit like E.T.
That's true. Anyway, so Kumbiramon / Rat Dave or whatever is like also the peak of like weak Devas that are technically ultimate, but really don't have the threat.
It's funny because the rat's supposed to be the best or whatever because it was the first one to make it to the god's feast or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hitched a ride on the ox who left early and then jumped off right before the ox got there, like the little asshole he is.
Ashley, should I remember this from Fruits Basket?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've forgotten Fruits Basket.
I know. That's because you didn't read the manga, and the manga is much better. Wrong.
Manga is stupid, and people who read manga are dumb.
Yeah.
Manga is for losers.
聞こえていたよカウントダウンずっと前から
Being a Digimon tamer is so new to me. I have so many unanswered questions.
My first unanswered question is, what evidence did these people have to believe that the Sovereign wasn't a Digimon? Like, why was that a thing in episode 21?
I don't know. The whole conversation, I was like, this seems like a silly thing to debate or discuss even. I'm just writing it off.
I was just very confused.
I guess they might have like an implicit assumption that like if there's something leading Digimon, it's not a Digimon itself. And they might think it's like some kind of human entity or something.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm also a little mad because Renamon like could have figured this out. Like, she went off one of the Devas and found out nothing. What the heck, Renamon?
Well, no, like she found out Sovereign. And like, this is what they're talking about still? Like, what? I thought we got this. I thought we moved on. I thought we established this.
No, because they had been spouting stuff about the Sovereign before that. Like, before she went off.
Yeah. Leomon
Leomon
entered on a rainbow.
Yeah, why? Can somebody please explain why?
Like, because reasons.
Like, I appreciate the LGBTQ pride, but...
Yeah.
He has the pride of a lion. Actually, about Leomon, there's one thing I don't understand, and it's when he had Kalumon. Why? And, of course, Takato and Guilmon just go up to him. Why didn't Guilmon just attack him then? Because, I mean, it is a Digimon that he's never seen before.
Like, holding
So why
Kalumon.
didn't he get angry? Or why didn't Guilmon get angry like he normally does when something bio emerges?
Can sense the goodness, Leomon.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how, like, maybe his smell has some magical intent detection. Okay, everyone is, like, so overwhelmed and impressed and surprised by Jeri's card collection, which is a single deck. It's not even a big deck. It's like she can play the game. Like I don't know, maybe this is like a version of the card game where...
But she has like twice as many cards as Takato.
Right, and like, is this a version of the card game where you can play with like 5 cards? Like, you need it.
I mean, she kind of looked like she had more than a deck, but she definitely didn't have like 2 decks.
Yeah.
Let me find this picture.
Those might have not even been all the cards.
I guess I could see that if they weren't, but they implied like what she was holding was all her cards, I thought.
I hope that Rika looked at it and was like, this is a puny amount of cards. Except Rika never seems like she actually has that many cards, so it's all very confusing.
Well, the cards are really confusing in this series because they just throw them away sometimes after they use them.
Yeah, they're like, this is useless to me now.
One-time use cards.
Yeah.
I mean, that sorta does make sense, because otherwise you would just abuse the hell out of it.
Well, I mean, the blue cards definitely imply that they disappear.
Yeah.
Well, those are blue cards.
They didn't make that clear for so long, though. So I found a picture of the deck, and it's like, it's a maybe sizable deck, but like...
Well, I'm pretty sure the card game, you're supposed to have 60 cards.
Yes. Maybe 50. I think 60's Pokemon, Andrew.
I like how like the text on the back is just card game.
Oh, it's 30.
Oh, wait, that actually makes sense then.
I'm just so used to card games requiring 60.
That seems really high to me.
That's what Pokemon does. I mean, most of it's energy.
Well, yeah, and Pokemon.
And I'm pretty sure Magic does too.
Magic's a silly game.
What?
Magic's stupid. Anime's stupid. Video games are stupid.
I'm pretty sure half the internet would destroy you over Magic.
Netrunner's better, but I haven't had time to play that either. Anyway, did anyone else have unanswered questions?
I was wondering how Guilmon got so close to the portal without, like, just getting sucked into it. if he...
Because it doesn't suck you in.
I mean, but he was basically, like, half disappeared by being, like, 10 feet away from it, and he had dug up to it. Like, he had dug around it.
Right, yeah, he dug, like, past it. Like, it was, like, floating in front. So, like, he must have dug...
Maybe he blew it up with his... what's his attack?
I don't think that's how... You can't, like, shoot fire at Earth and have the Earth just disappear.
Well, it's Digimon. Just touch it. Like, a Digimon touching anything will just destroy it.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. I was wondering why Jeri using Takado's Digivice didn't just Digimodify Leomon. Like, how does, does Digivice know that it's not Takado? Like,
so I was thinking about that, and I kind of tied it into the revelation in the next episode. Maybe it was the same. No, I think it was the next episode that, like, no, it was the same one. Anyway, where, like, they kind of had, it didn't really clarify too much, but I think the point was that like, it doesn't really matter what the card we use is, just the intent. And the way I interpreted that was, like, they didn't actually have cards that were, like, radiant light or whatever, but they just, like, hoped that's what the card would do, and that's what it did. Or, like, you know, like, that maybe that was an actual card and they just, like, didn't actually have that card, but they were just like, let's just pretend we have the radiant light card, and it worked. So anyway, so, like, I kind of tied that into, like, the Digivice not literally translating the card that is red to the Digimon, but instead, you know, harnessing the intent of their intended user. And so, like, in the same way that, like, it's not like, it was never that, like, literally read the card. It was just that, like, Takado, like, they didn't think anything else. They were just like, yeah, I'll scan the speed card and then I'll do speed. And then for some reason in my head, that kind of feel that fits in this set, makes sense of also other people not being able to use the Digivice because it's, like, linked to the person and their wishes.
Okay.
Do you disagree or do you dislike that theory?
I mean, I would buy that the Digivice is like, you are not doing this with intent and rejecting it. I don't think it can just make up what the card is. Like, like, I don't think they can, like, scan the speed card, but then really, like, will it to be flying.
Well, so then what was the point of, like, I'm confused by that interaction then, because it seemed like they were like, you know, they had a revelation where they were like, well, it isn't actually the card that matters, it's our intent. I forget exactly what they say. And then I think
it's more that there's no shitty card. If you believe in a card enough, like, remember when Henry used that absolutely useless card and it put bracers on Terriermon's ears and it actually worked out really well? I think that's the idea.
Maybe I took it too far then.
Also, didn't they make those cards Digivolution cards? Because anything, we already know anything can become a Digivolution card.
I just feel like they can, like, will a Digivolution card into existence, but then they still need to scan a Digivolution card. Like,
no. So I'm talking about two different things then. So I can pull it up. Because, like, there were two different points in the episode where I feel like the rest, like, the episode's so forgettable. I can't remember specifics, but it was like, they, like, but yeah, I think it wasn't, like, not like we can scan any card, but it was more like there is no card that's going to help us here unless we believe in it or something like that.
We don't have any decent cards left.
Maybe it doesn't matter what card we use, Rika.
Huh? Okay, did that pig monster eat your brain?
No, I'm serious. The only time the cards have been helpful to our Digimon is when we've believed in them. All we have to do is just believe in ourselves this time.
Okay, it's worth a try.
Wait, but, like, they say that.
They say that, but then they seem to use a card that would do the thing that they wanted.
Right. They use it and they're like, and now we just happen to have the perfect card that would help. Like, that's what confused me.
That's very confusing. I don't know how to interpret that, quite honestly.
But it could be that, like, they just, like, got the inspiration to think of the right card because of that speech or something. Like, but you see my confusion, right? Like that's what I interpret as them, like, making up that card.
Right. I mean, no, but I think it aligns more with what Asher said of, like, Henry used what is perceived as a useless card in the bracer thing, but then believed in being able to use it in a different way than its intention is what worked out.
And now it's time. Now the second Hope Against Hate commercial, Hope Against Hate 2.
Jeez, Henry. Takato is such a crybaby sometimes.
Terriermon, how many times do I have to tell you that calling people names hurts their feelings?
Yeah, but Henry, he really does cry all the time.
That's because he cares about Leomon and he doesn't want anything bad to happen to him.
Oh, I never thought about it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Digimon, your differences.
Jesus.
These commercials are so good.
It feels like that commercial speaks to me in my soul.
I'm just like smirking the entire time.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god, my tagline is definitely now and forever Digivolve your differences. It's the best.
Ashley, he only cares because he doesn't want to see Gilmon get hurt.
I never thought of it that way.
全て始まりそれが答えだろう誰より遠くへ飛んでみせるよ全ての明日を貫いて
Ridiculous Dialogue Draft, where we each go around and pick our top 2 funniest, most ridiculous, or much touching lines from the episodes. It's called a draft because Jeffrey thinks this is like a sports draft, but he has never participated in something like March Madness or, quite frankly, sports at all. So
okay, that's a little harsh.
That's a little hard.
I believe it.
I have very clear memories of hating playing soccer and baseball every Saturday morning as a kid.
Every morning I got up and played baseball.
And all I wanted to do when I was forced to be outside and do those things was watch Digimon, and I would come home and be like, I finally got to watch my Digimon, and yeah, true story.
I recently talked to my coworkers. I found out that one of them grew up without television, and I was like, well, crap, I watched like 5 hours of Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday, but all right, that's cool for you.
So my first pick is from episode 21, and it's when Takato's on the phone talking with... I forget who asked this question, who asked Takato to relay this question. I can't remember if it's Henry or Rika. But so Jeri. So Jeri's chasing Leomon and Takato's on the phone. So this is a conversation with Jeri.
Are you sure he's your partner?
Yes!
How come?
Because it's destiny!
Okay, thanks!
That was Henry's question.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
And now I know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
It's your turn, and Daru.
Okay, Jeff is gonna hate me a lot.
This is like 10 lines. This is like 20 lines long.
No, even better. Just all the little squeaks Jeri does in episode 21.
The squeaks? What?
Whenever her voice like squeaks.
Okay.
Ashley's the one who has to actually get the clips, so she should be the one who hates you.
Oh, I am sorry, Ashley.
Already. I hate you already.
Wait, in what context are these squeaks?
Whenever her voice goes even higher for no apparent reason.
Okay. Ashley, you don't have to do that.
I think you just deserve to lose.
Yeah.
And
I kind of forgot my notes, so I don't have too much. I am relying on memory.
That's your problem. That sounds like an Andrew problem and not an us problem.
Okay, so this is in episode 21 when Rat Deva appears and Jeri tells Kalumon to fight it, and their exchange is...
What kind of a Digimon are you? A cuddly cute kind who doesn't like to fight and gets cramps when he eats too much.
I was like, yes.
Okay, so this is from episode 23, and they're fighting the pig Deva, I guess. I guess. So this is him and War Growlmon.
You shall all pay dearly!
Sorry, but we don't carry cash.
Oh, that is actually like a super good burn.
That was What if then the pig Deva had replied, I take credit cards?
Oh, did he? I missed that part.
No.
I said he shouldn't.
That's just Ashley's fan fiction.
Right.
That's the extent of my fan fiction that I can ever create, yeah.
Oh, is that everyone? My turn now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So my second and best pick, actually it's not better than the first one. Okay, my second pick is from episode 22, and it's right after it's right after the pig Deva appears.
It's gonna be big.
How can you tell? We're looking up, aren't we?
So
I didn't understand. I was like, what? That has nothing to do. What?
I mean, it was just because, like, it was one of those awkward, like, they were actually posed looking upwards because that's how the Japanese was. So they put in a silly joke about we're looking up, so it has to be big.
Oh, boy.
Since I don't have my notes, which I left at my parents' house, I'm gonna have to go with the line in, well, the lines in, I don't remember which episode it is, but I'm pretty sure it's 22, in which the soldiers in the helicopters are talking about their giant pig maneuvers.
Sir, we haven't been practicing our giant pig maneuvers. Wait, do we have giant pig maneuvers?
Man, what do I pick?
Dochiraga ii desu ka? I'm Ashley. I'm Japanese. Zanen desu ne.
True facts. This is from episode 23. It's at some point, Taomon and Rapidmon are talking to each other because Wargramon just gets like taken out of commission or whatever. And this is their exchange.
It'll take more than my brush to beat this Deva.
Can you at least paint him a new face?
I remember that one. Kosher. Kosher.
I'm not. We spoiled the surprise on the kosher one already.
Do it anyway.
I'm not doing it.
Okay, fine.
Andrew, that's stereotyping.
I did write it down, but I'm not doing it.
But he's pork.
Like, kosherism, like, someone could still...
Kosherism?
Sorry, someone could keep kosher and still, like, own a pig, right? They just can't eat it, right?
I don't actually know enough about kashrut to answer that question. I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I could see it going both ways, because, like, it's the whole idea, like, the pigs were just dirty in general, right?
Pigs are unclean, yeah. Well, actually, it's complicated. I can't answer that, because I don't care about kashrut. Yeah, so, alright, here's a line that made me groan a lot. It was so bad. So this is from episode 21, and it's Leomon, and he says,
I should go before her tears make me stay.
I was like, that sounds like it came right out of Twilight. It's like, I can't believe this flew. God.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'll recover.
This arc took a while, but we finally reached the end of the Tokyo Devas broad arc thing, and I forget if we actually did a wrap-up segment like this for the setup arc, but we've also reached, I mean, this is a big turning point for the series. We reached the end of the first real-world chunk, and I mean, the setup is kind of its own arc in that it's just like setups up before the Devas appear, and it's kind of all set up, like kind of all just set up for the impetus for going to Digital World. So I thought it'd be a good time to just like reflect on like highlights from this arc, starting with when the Devas started appearing with the Tiger Deva episode, and any like thoughts we have now in retrospect, looking back on the arc. It's a little bit suboptimal since I think the first episode we released in January, and I forget when we recorded it, so like it's been a while since we've taken a while to get through these episodes, so our memory is not fresh, but yeah. My highlights are Impmon's stand against Indramon, and just both finding his struggles sympathetic on that level, but also Henry finding his sense of what truth to believe in based on how they treated Impmon. I really like, be keeping that in my mind going forward. And my second highlight of the Devas arc so far has been the owl voice.
Wow.
Ashley, do you have any highlights?
Highlights. I mean, I really liked the family emotional stuff in the past couple of episodes. I liked the stuff with Staccato, like feeling Growlmon's pain from like the first episode. Kind of sad that hasn't come back.
It kind of, yeah. I mean, it was kind of like the reverse of that. Like Staccato was kind of. It was like if the other way was like pull, this is now push.
Yeah,
it's true. All right,
but it was more like it came back in like a callback sense, not in a.
I forgot about their ridiculous screaming. Right, they just like started screaming.
What are they screaming about?
They were just like, "We're gonna pick it all up. Everybody just go ah, and then we'll defeat the board."
Okay, actually, I think Andrew's making a joke, which we didn't get.
It was a quote by Rapidmon.
Okay. Takado should watch the new cheerleading anime, the male cheerleading anime that's coming out, so that he's a better cheerleader. Asher, do you have any highlights?
I mean, I did really like this last episode. And Takado, like, seeing the kids, like, sort of come into their own finally has been nice and refreshing and empowering in a way. Yep.
Yep.
Andrew, any highlights?
No.
No? Any, like, final impressions on the Tokyo Devas arc?
It was okay overall.
I would say it could have been much more shonen-y than it was, which is good.
This is definitely a big I guess it wasn't a surprise throughout, but it was a surprise in the beginning that, like, I had this impression of it being, like, the highlight of the series. And back to, I'm like, no, okay.
Yeah, that's wrong. If this is the highlight of the series, I mean...
if I mentioned it to someone who, like, had seen it recently, they'd be like, no, what are you talking about? That's crazy. No, of course you don't think that. And no, I agree. It certainly had its moments, but...
It was not that strong overall.
It also had its anti-moments. So actually, one of my coworkers has been for the past couple months watching Digimon from the beginning, and he like every week or so be like update me on where he was at and random thoughts or whatever. And he found it really frustrating to get through Tamers because it was just a weird opinion from because I think we look at the characters and the emotions and everything on that level. And his response was like, they've been in this park for forever. I'm sick of it. And I think he actually skipped to like episode 25. He was like, they're finally out of the park after like 20 episodes or something. And I'm like, really? Like you skipped the last 5? Like
sounds like me and Forest.
Forest is not that big of a deal. The Frontier, actually.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
I mean, I think it's especially interesting because like our pacing going through the season has been very slow, and still I feel like there's been plenty. Like I haven't been frustrated yet. I think it's been slow, but it's like, oh, there's still stuff here. It's maybe not as exciting as it could be, but it's definitely a different formula for Venture where it's like the idea of them being in the same setting for 24 episodes. Yeah, that would never fly in the Adventure universe.
Yeah. I mean, I remember being frustrated by the first 9 episodes of setup.
Of Adventure?
But no, of Tamers.
Oh, Tamers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But after that, it got alright. There's a lot going on. You got the Impmon plotline, we have these other things going on.
Yeah. I mean, my initial reaction was to right off that they're still in the park thing as a silly complaint, but the more I think about it, the more it's yeah, I mean, setting is important. And one of the things Digimon did really well was make that exciting and make it a new setting every week and stuff. And so I can kind of, from that angle, understand why people found Tamers, why there was a drop off and it wasn't what they were expecting in the same way. And I mean, it's sad they don't appreciate every other thing as it is, but yeah. How do we think about the arc, the Tokyo Devas arc, in relation to the setup arc? Out of the two, which do you prefer? I think Ashley made it clear that you didn't like the setup, so do you prefer this one to that?
I believe I do, yes.
I believe I agree, despite some serious pacing issues here. They were not as bad as the pacing issues before.
Yeah, the pacing issues yeah, it was an improvement.
Andrew, what do you think?
Definitely an improvement, especially since it was a lot of Leomon don't do this and he does it anyway.
Oh yeah, that was...
I mean, there was both Leomon don't do this, he does it anyway, and Weekend Renamon retreading the same moments.
Yeah.
Which I guess extended to this arc a little bit.
We've finally gotten out of, if the park is the setting that recurs over and over endlessly, we finally got out of the hell that is repeated Leomon Renamon feelings. And Henry being whatever.
Right, I mean, Takado being Gilmon don't do this, Gilmon doing it anyway. Henry being Terramon, you can't fight. Terramon being I want to fight. Weekend, they all kind of went through their, repeated things over and over. But I guess for the most part, we're out of that. Now our penultimate segment, Recommendation Articulation, where we articulation some recommendations.
That one doesn't even work. It doesn't rhyme.
Ashley, what do you want to articulate?
I feel like maybe I don't remember what I plugged already. This is a big problem.
You should keep a list.
I started to. I can remember some of the things I plugged.
I mean, I have to enter it in. I entered into the website. Oh, I forgot to mention that a new thing that we started doing in the last episode, but that was just me and Ashley feedback. And Ashley didn't have one, so it was just me. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, we're going to start doing from now on is have a forum thread for each recommendation. So, if we mention some show and you want to talk about that show with other listeners, you want to talk about that show or with us, talk about that show, like there's going to be a place to do that. So, yeah.
Whatever. I will plug Skip Beat. Have I plugged this before, you guys?
No. I don't think so.
I think you've skipped it.
Ha ha ha. You're so
Punch
funny.
him.
Punch.
One punch me, a man?
Shut up.
Okay.
One punch! That's what you get. I'll plug Skippy because it currently is being kickstarted.
So you mean Skippy the anime?
The anime. I have not read the manga. I do want to read the manga, however, it was like 30-something volumes.
I followed the manga and then it got hard.
In
Yeah.
terms of you don't like the direction that it went?
No, there's a lot of great things that happen in the manga that doesn't happen in anime.
I mean, yeah, the anime is only 20-something episodes and there's, again, 30-something.
There's a point where, what's her name again?
Kyoko?
And Ren become badasses.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
Anyway, so I would like to see shoujo anime not fail the Kickstarter.
Is it in risk of failing it?
Yeah, there's 6 days left and it has to raise another $20,000.
Okay, hopefully this will be going up within only a couple of days. Hopefully this will be a couple of days left if you're listening to this right when the episode comes out. But there's a chance there's not time.
Well, if there is time, you should consider kickstarting the Skip Beat anime to get a dub. Because apparently it is in the license that they have. They have to make a dub. And they're like, eh.
There are a lot of people angry at the idea of anime being kickstarted. And there's a lot of ire at the Escafone Kickstarter because they're like, Escafone is so popular. Why of course people are going to buy this. This is just a glorified pre-order system. And you could have just done this without having a Kickstarter. But I think this is Skippy Kickstarter is really a strong case for it because it's they need to do a dub in order to get the license. And there's really not much evidence that if they make a dub, people will buy it. So this is really a strong case for having a Kickstarter to ensure demand is really not, because this is a personal project. I'm pretty sure the creator has fronted most of the money has been fronted her own money into it. It's not like a corporation that can just write off $20,000. It's
so if you had ire at the Escafone Kickstarter, don't let that affect your Skip Beat ire.
Well, Skip Beat's a smaller company.
Yeah.
It's
not the same, okay?
There's a episode of the Ancast with the person who's leading the project. If you want to hear more, I'll link to it in the show notes. So Ashley's at the end of your rec.
Yeah, I mean, Skip Beat is a shoujo anime that I really appreciate for its female friendships that are portrayed. I mean, obviously there are hot boys, but
obviously.
Well, there's only two of them.
Yeah, there's only 2 hot boys. See, that's it's pretty low.
At least 2 main ones.
It is also the anime that I was watching when I called 911 to go to the ER for massive chest pain. So we'll always have that connection.
Asher, what do you want to articulate?
That's so stupid.
He wants to articulate how stupid that is.
Yeah, I unplug this section.
Oh wait! Speaking of which, I forgot to mention I have a recommendation I need to retract. I can't remember when it was. I recommended the Cool Games Inc. podcast where they basically improv through fake game ideas that they get suggestions from. And in this latest episode that came out on Friday, the 2 hosts mentioned something about the idea that Digimon's better than Pokemon being ridiculous, and they were like, if you thought that, just shut up. And so now I'm removing them, and they are no longer supported by our podcast. And
wow.
So do not listen to them.
Fickle.
It's my favorite podcast, but I mean, no, you shouldn't listen to them.
Okay. I'm going to recommend Kentucky Route Zero, which is a...
When you said Kentucky, I was like, Kentucky Fried Chicken? Where is this going? And then
this is not going to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I do not recommend Kentucky Fried Chicken to anyone. Either you won't like it, or you'll like it so much that you'll keep eating it, and it's really bad for you.
Oh, we should have gotten it. Actually, I really regret not getting it in Japan. We should get it when we go back.
What?
Like Christmas chicken.
Okay. Oh,
You need to make reservations for that, yeah.
Well, it wasn't. I was not actually on Christmas.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Kentucky Route Zero is an indie game. You can get it on Steam, and I'm not totally sure how to describe it. It's very strange.
Is it finished now?
No.
Oh, it's still going.
Yeah, there's one more act actually, I don't know how many acts there are supposed to be. There are 3 acts that are out. I know there's a 4th coming out. I don't know how many more there are after that. But it's very, very thoughtful and cool. And if you like ghosts, it's up your alley. It's not scary. It's just strange.
How long is it?
I don't know. Not that long.
Looks like it's like an hour or two for
It depends on how much you want to explore. Because it's got a crazy, crazy cool world.
What kind of game is this?
I really don't know how to describe it, dude.
Adventure?
It's like a story game, right?
It's a story game. Andrew, I guess it's kind of an adventure. Magic realism is a thing.
No, but how would you control anything?
You click.
So it's a point and click adventure.
Yes. Maybe. I will agree to that. Yes. It's got kind of a quiet, dark atmosphere. Not dark. I mean, like, physically it is dark to look at sometimes. Because a lot of it takes place at night. But yes, it's cool.
I've heard lots of really good things about it in the past. Been meaning to get to it.
It is pretty good. Yeah, that's why I got it.
Hmm.
Of course, now it's not on my new computer, so...
Okay, Andrew, what do you want to articulate?
I'm going to plug Full Moon wo Sagashite.
Oh, the manga or the anime?
I'm talking about the anime, not the manga, because the manga is even darker.
I was not thrilled with Full Moon.
Yeah, but it's a really fun series. I probably haven't watched it in at least 10 years, maybe?
It gets a little wacky at the end.
It has many...
I mean, it has many
questionable
faults.
aspects.
It has many faults, but I think there's a reason Andrew is suggesting it.
Well, I don't really want to upset anyone.
Is it like problematic or something?
No,
Yes.
Oh, there's definitely problematic things.
Yes, like the mangaka has very problematic. Everything she writes is problematic.
I could see that.
That's not what I was talking about, but
I know,
okay.
but
Jeff asked a very specific question.
Like, the series really kind of hits close to our community right now, because the main character actually has a type of throat cancer, but she wants to be a singer. But then, of course, she meets these 2 Shinigami who are trying to take her away, right? That's what's happening, right?
yeah, they want her to die.
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna die.
But she asked for an extension, like a 1-year extension, and basically she becomes a magical pretty girl, except she's just a singer.
She has a magical transformation, but she doesn't fight monsters.
Yeah, like they give her, they're like, here, we'll heal your throat for you, or whatever happens. It goes off the rails from that premise.
Yes, it does. And yeah.
You recommend the anime, not the manga, right?
The anime, because it's more fun.
Well, I could only get through like 8 episodes of the anime because I got really sick of hearing the one song that they make her play.
The anime is very formulaic and repetitive.
Yeah.
The reason I would say give the anime a shot, just because it is a story about music. And you can't get the music in the manga.
That's true. But the one song gets really annoying after you hear it.
Yeah, they play the same
10
song
times.
for like eight episodes, and then they pick a different song, and they play that for 8 episodes.
Well, what do you expect from a children's anime?
I'm not sure I would call this a children's anime, because if it is, it's got some real...
I would say that the anime definitely tries to come off as for a younger audience than the manga does. I don't know. If you get tired of the formulaicness of the anime, I would recommend just reading the manga. It's only like 8 volumes.
Yes. Yeah, 8.
Something like that. 6,
But it's also
8.
I would actually say the manga is more problematic than the anime.
Well, I don't know. I didn't get
far. Yeah, I don't remember entirely. It's been a while. I think I was No, I must have been in high school. That was a while ago.
So, okay, I'm going to recommend Digimon Links, because that's relevant to Digimon Podcast.
Because people can totally access that, right?
Yeah, they can. Okay, so it's a little bit complicated. If you have an iOS device, you need to get a Japanese iTunes account, which I'll have a link to directions or how you can do that. You basically just need to make a new account within Japanese App Store, and you need to provide a potentially false address, but I didn't know about that. You're not telling me about it. And then you just like on your phone, switch the App Store to the Japanese App Store, download the app, and then you can switch back to America. And on Android, I think it's easier / harder. I think there's like an app you install that lets you do this simple. You install an app and then you can download things from the Japanese Play Store. I don't really know much about that. But...
No, you just have to download the APK file.
Okay, so yeah, you can download the APK file and just like sideload it, but you can also, if you want to get updates, you can download something that lets you get the Japanese Play Store. Yeah, the game might be hard if you don't know any Japanese. If you know how to read katakana, it's a lot easier because there are a lot of things that are in katakana. If you don't, you still potentially, you can play it. There are a couple of guides, resources. I'll have a link to the Digimon Links subreddit, which has a link to all these. And there's basically a like video walkthrough by Wu Qinglong. Basically, it'll basically give you like an overview of all the UI and stuff. So that can be, I think with that, you can basically do most of the game. I've been really addicted to it. It's basically it's a very familiar formula if you're used to mobile games, which I'm really not. So it's kind of the first mobile game that's really hooked me. And it's really good background playing while watching TV or watching anything else. So I've been really enjoying it and it's really fun. And yeah.
So what kind of game is it?
I don't know enough about like mobile games to these kind. It's a stamina based mobile game. I'm used to a lot of mobile games, but more you pay once and get like a premium kind of experience. I'm not really used to these. So I was kind of like turned off by the stamina stuff because I was like, why is it based on stamina? Like, why, if it's a good game, why do you want me to stop playing it based on stamina? But what I've kind of learned is that the stamina makes time its own resource. So it's like, my stamina has reached my peak stamina. So if I'm not playing it, that means I'm wasting resources. So it like gives you this kind of, if you get addicted to things like this, maybe not the best thing to do, but it gives you like hooked to always when you're playing it and like optimizing your resources and stuff. And it reuses a lot of elements from Cyber Sleuth. Like the battle system is similar. It's not exactly like Cyber Sleuth, but it is similar. And it's like pretty hard to get Digivolutions. Like you have to work pretty hard, and like getting an ultimate / perfect Digivolution is like basically time to the day. So it's like today in Japan, it's Saturday in America, which means Sunday in Japan, which means it is Nichiyobi, which is light day. So right now you can get materials to make light Digimon, and then like it changes each day of the week. So it's like you kind of need to like wait until the day of the week and stuff. And so like it gives you incentive to like, okay, today I'm going to get light Digimon, tomorrow I'm going to get neutral Digimon and stuff like that. And so anyway, I really like it. I hope it does well enough in Japan to get a Western release. I think it's had like 3 million downloads. There's like, each time there's like a new milestone of 1 million downloads met, they're like rewards you get in the app. So yeah, it's cool. In the wise words of Jaden Smith, here's the deal. School is not authentic because it ends. It's not true. It's not real. Our learning will never end. The school that we go to every single morning, we will continue to go to. On that note, you can find the show notes for this episode by going to podigious.com/306. There are lots of ways you can send us feedback for next week's follow-up episode.
Tell us what you thought about the episode in the comment section.
You can leave a voicemail answering our question of the week. This week's question is, who is your favorite family member and why? You can either call 913-CALAMON or send an audio recording to podigious@gmail.com. Keep them under 90 seconds to be included on air.
You can leave a review in iTunes for us to transgarble.
You can rate these episodes of Tamers on our show notes page.
And don't forget to vote for your favorite RDD picks on the show notes page so we can declare a winner for the dialogue draft. Podigious is made possible with the support from our awesome Patreon: Amanda Angelmon, Andre Leducmon, David Graumon, Eric Angemon, Joe Keto, Jack Santaagamon, Kai Lunamon, Sam Kruagamon, and Stevie Panamon.
If you want to support the show, you can join our private Slack chat group for $1 a month, you can get monthly stickers for $5 a month, and you can get early episodes for $10 a month. We also have a lot more rewards and goals, so check out patreon.com/podigious.
You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook to keep up with the Digimons and get funny images and GIFs related to the show. You can find me on Tumblr at Phantom Shell Staff. You can also find those other 3 people, I guess. Jeff?
I'm definitely Jeff on Twitter.
Ashley.
AshMcD00 on Twitter.
And that horrible brother of mine.
You don't want to find me. I'm Asher Dashery at Tumblr.
You can also find links to all our social media accounts at Podigious.com.
Our Calvin artwork is by the awesome Mary Cagle, aka Cube Watermelon, on Tumblr and Twitter.
Share the podcast with your friends who like Digimon, and if your friends don't like Digimon, stop talking to them and pretend that you ran away to the digital world.
And join us in 2 weeks as we go to the digital world. Bye!
Bye.
And remember, never stop digivolving.
全て始まりそれが答えたのわらピザピがすいません速力で未来も今も駆け抜けろ
The kids learn how to recognize patterns and to believe in the heart of the cards.
So I'm really confused because I tried searching through my all my previous notes, and it seems like I've never used that heart of the cards joke before. Which I'm
Really?
like, really?
I feel like that's not possible.
Yeah, it's not
I
possible.
think we've definitely done it like maybe off
In
the
an
cuff.
episode? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's just like not written into the recaps or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just not in the notes where I was searching.
It's okay. The joke never gets old, so it's fine.
It's a perfect joke.
Leomon becomes a prisoner of a monkey. What? Huh? That's not what I wrote. Of a monkey's.
That's because I wrote that.
What? I don't get it.
Because what you wrote didn't make sense either.
He's a prisoner of war. A prisoner of war. A prisoner of boar.
Yeah, but he was actually a prisoner of the monkey.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, but...
Fine, he becomes a monkey's uncle.
What's a I don't
Oh,
get
I
it.
like that.
Wait, but I don't
You've never
get
heard
it.
the phrase "a monkey's uncle"?
Yeah,
I
you've
mean,
never heard of three.
It's one of those phrases like that's a combination of words I've heard a lot, but I don't know what it means. Apparently it's in The Lion King.
Yes, it is in The Lion King. Being a monkey's uncle is like being a fool.
Oh, huh. That does fit really well, yeah. Okay. Monkey Kid reveals himself to be Monkey Deva and throws a super monkey ball to finally put the knot in Juggernaut. Leomon becomes a monkey's uncle.
In episode 20... Can we change the alternate title? Is there anything better?
I couldn't think of anything.
Also, I could have sworn I changed that.
I mean, you deleted it. There was nothing there. Or someone deleted it. Why don't you
I did
6 young
delete
kids
it.
go to camp for the summer?
But it's not summer.
But it's the song.
Andrew, just read it.
Okay, fine. In episode 24, the journey begins, aka 6 young kids go to camp for the summer.
Did anyone else have an experience of like referring to... I guess this wasn't a teacher. It was like an aide in my elementary school, and I referred to him as mom by accident once. No one else do that?
I think I might have called one of my teachers mom by accident once, but not a teacher's aide.
Okay, well, yeah, a teacher or aide or whatever. I remember it being really embarrassing and like...
It was super embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most people do that.
Okay. Ashley hasn't spoken up.
I don't remember, probably. It wasn't traumatizing.
I guess it's like a reflex that you keep saying like blah 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 mom or whatever, and then but it's weird because like I don't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a certain like I do this now not with my teachers and not with my mom, but like when I go home and I'm about to say something to someone, like I'm about to react to something that annoys me.
You say mom?
I'll like I don't say mom. I'll start saying my dog's name, and then I'm like, "You're a person. Why am I calling you Kira?"
This story was bizarre.
Okay.
Or I'll call him Andrew.
Oh boy.
I don't understand this story.
But I'm not Andrew, I'm Andrews of Man.
Yeah, that's true.
Huh?
Somebody sent Andrew a piece of mail recently so our last name is Softman, right? And they wrote his name on the envelope, Andrews of Man. And I was like, that's badass. I'm changing my name.
Oh, man.
Ashers of Man.
Right? That's not as cool as Andrews of Man, though. I don't know what it is. Because usually my name's cooler than his.
Wait, so was it just like the S was misplaced, or was it like Space of Spaceman?
Space of Spaceman.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. This was a Discover card.
Oh my goodness, you should definitely get that card and have your name written on it like that.
I think it was Discover or it was American Express, I forget.
I don't remember.
Actually, you could be Ashleem McDonald. Doesn't work so well. Ashley McDonald. No.
Ashleem Cadonnell.
This all sounds awful.
There was no reason for War Growlmon to be out that long, basically.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of like in One Piece arcs there's often like some semi-contrived reason why Luffy has to be taken out of commission for most of the arc to like, because once Luffy comes in, he's gonna like take out the bad guy. I mean, it is very different, but that's what it reminds you. Like there's a
And they usually give you a fun adventure when Luffy's not there.
Right.
Like there's like Luffy's lost in a snake. That's fun.
Wait, Luffy gets eaten by a snake?
No, he walks into a snake.
He walks into a snake.
Yes.
Obviously.
I'm sorry, what? When does this happen?
And then he's like
Skypiea arc.
Then he's like inside the snake's eyeball or something weird.
Yeah, that happened.
It didn't really make sense to me in the manga, at least. It's
Well,
just like
that's
he's
because eyes don't work like that. But yes, that happened.
Also, it was a very important snake. It was like a friendly snake.
Well,
spoiler.
It was a very important snake. I don't know if I would call it a friendly snake.
Wasn't it eventually friendly?
Well, yeah, but what isn't eventually friendly in One Piece?
Or any other shonen series.
Don't answer that.
I actually don't. Like, I haven't gone to anyone yet. Like, everyone that I've met so far has become friendly. So I know there are people later on, but
yeah.
Wait, what? How far are you?
Like volume. I'm in Thriller Bark, volume like 48 or something.
Wait, what's Thriller Bark again?
It's the one that's all like
Did I even
spooky, scary.
I only watched up to Alabasta.
That's like 2 minutes in. That's like 200 episodes. Anyway, back from One Piece. Kazu and like, one of them lies, the other one just like leaves a note or something. But
yeah, Kazu lied. Kenta left a note.
I also have more to say about like them and the way it's presented and stuff.
Henry left an email.
Okay, we have a section for this. We'll get to it. Calm down.
As somebody who doesn't have siblings, I'm just like, oh my god.
Andrew, I used to do crap like that all the time, and you would cry.
Yes, I would. And now I resent you.
Do you?
Siblings are terrible.
I didn't think so.
Anyway,
Okay.
I had emotions.
I disagree.
Okay.
You had emotions.
You can't disagree that I had emotions. You can disagree with the legitimacy of my emotions.
And now a FoxKids commercial. Wait, no. How do you like introduce a commercial break? And now a word from our sponsor. Or no, like. And now a FoxKids commercial break.
We interrupt this program to give you a word from our sponsor.
This isn't actually a sponsor. And now we interrupt.
Moon. We'll be right back.
Okay. Podigious will be right back after a word from FoxKids. Renamon. I was like, is the human's name Rika or is the Digimon's name Rika?
We're all at that point. It's not just me.
Rikamon.
No, did you hear? I was like, Renamon. Oh my god. I meant to talk about Rika. Okay, Rika is kind of seems to be definitely chosen for like.
I think that is true, but then he had a moment where like, this is for you, kid.
That sounds like a cowboy thing to say.
That's not a cowboy thing to say. That's a very like 50s movie thing to say. Yeah.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Yeah, that's not from a cowboy movie.
I don't know.
That's not even from an action movie.
Isn't that from Casablanca?
I'm pretty sure that's from Casablanca.
It is from Casablanca.
I thought Casablanca was a cowboy action movie.
Not in the least.
In Morocco?
I thought they just go to. I mean, Casablanca. That's like Spanish, right? So they're like in like Mexico and
they're in Morocco. Jeff, what kind of uncultured swine are you?
Jeff, watch more movies.
Is everyone white in Casablanca?
Well, they're certainly in black and white.
Well,
isn't the piano player black, Andrew? It's
Yes.
been a while since I saw the movie.
Yes, Sam is black.
Okay. But like, is anyone actually Moroccan?
No, actually.
Oh, I don't think so, because it was made in the 40s or something.
I'm pretty sure everyone was either American or a Nazi.
That's how it goes.
The two aren't mutually exclusive, Andrew.
That's true.
We don't see much about her family life, but we are definitely seeing some of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we'll talk more about family later.
She has a little brother.
Wait, what?
She has a little brother.
Yeah, she has a little brother.
Like shown or that picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like sleeping with the puppet,
Oh
and
yeah.
she takes it back from
I was
him.
like, who's this kid with the puppet in her room? I didn't make that connection.
Oh my gosh. Why would you not make that what?
I remember thinking, like, how did the, like, I don't know. My brain. I called Rika Renamon.
All right, yeah, you're just all a mess, aren't you?
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Yes.
While our brains are still functioning.
I think it's far too late for that.
Maybe we can take a break after this Family Matters topic to
so
eat
that
something.
I can eat. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Cool.
I will eat a Cliff Bar so hard. Nom nom nom.
Nom nom.
Let's have a podcast where we say nom nom over and over.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom nom nom. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. You guys don't know that song?
No. Really, they should have had a moment. They should have had a moment with every teacher they have. They probably have several different teachers.
Maybe not at this age.
I think the way it's supposed to work I'm not 100% sure, but I think the way it works in elementary school in Japan is that it's similar to higher levels where they're in a homeroom and people come in and out. I mean, there has to be if that's how English is taught there, where people who speak English come in and just talk to them in English for a while.
I don't know. They might just have one teacher for elementary.
Well, I mean, they definitely have English teachers. That's the only one I know for sure.
But if you remember in earlier episodes, she was teaching them PE as well.
Okay, sure. I mean, okay, I guess maybe the English thing isn't at all schools. They have maybe it's a privilege to have an English-speaking person come in and teach them.
I think it is a privilege to have an English-speaking person come in because I've seen lots of in anime. I've seen
Ash, you sound so pretentious mentioning anime.
Yeah, I've seen teachers that are Japanese-speaking people teaching the English classes.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Like in Lane.
And Miss Yukari from Azumanga Daioh.
More like Azumanga is not Digimon. On that note, I don't think I have any more to say about family stuff. Oh, wait. Speaking of belts, we need to get this out of the way because I'm going to forget about it when we actually get to Gallimon. So skip ahead if you, I guess, don't want to know about Gallimon/Dukemon because you want to avoid spoilers for the season. But Ashley points out to me, and I can't stop seeing it now. And it's on our figure too. So I'm going to post an image.
It is? I've never noticed this.
So I'm going to post an image, and it doesn't really matter what image it is. But he's wearing belt. He's wearing two belts. What is he doing with belts? What is? Look at those belts.
Pretty normal by Digimon standards.
But he
I noticed it when I was playing Cyber Sleuth and I was like, wait, what is happening?
But he doesn't have things that belts go over. Why does he have belts?
And it's the skinniest part of his waist. It's just
Oh my god, I'm looking at the Shurimon figure right now and it has two belts.
What is with this two belts thing?
Yeah, why?
What's with Digimon and belts? Doesn't Devimon?
Okay, well, Shurimon having two belts doesn't make sense, but at least that's over clothes. Look at Devimon.
Devimon has two as well.
No, Devimon has three.
Yeah, Devimon has three on his waist thing, but then he has belts elsewhere.
Oh man, wait, do you know what maybe this could make an April Fool's idea for in the future? But you know those games where you it's everyone except for some people in the room know the pattern and everyone else tries to just guess the pattern and it's just something ridiculous. It's the fact that the person who's asking the question has their hands above the table means yes or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Party games where you're what is there's one about umbrella or you guys know what I'm talking about? It's you say here's the pattern, so tell me ask about an object and I'll say yes or no if it fits the category. And you have to figure out the pattern is and some people know the rule but a bunch of people in the room don't know the rule. And actually we played this thing.
Well, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
What's it called?
I thought it was called Umbrella.
Anyway, I was thinking we do that with Digimon, rating Digimon based on the number of belts they have. Gallimon's 2 stars. We're not gonna tell you why, but he's totally 2 stars. Devimon's 3 stars.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think Imperial Dramon has 10.
Why does Imperial Dramon have a belt?
He has several belts.
But he's not clothes.
So, neither does Devimon.
Why do Digimon have belts?
To make them look edgy. Duh.
Ash, we need you to weigh in.
Look edgy. Fashion statements.
Yeah, Imperial Dramon wears belts on his arms.
You need to weigh in on belts?
And I don't know what's going on in his torso.
I feel really bad for this person who asked this question on Yahoo Answers. Because they're the umbrella game, I don't get it. My friends like to torture me with the umbrella game. You have to say what you're bringing to a party, and then they tell me whether I can go or not. And I had to figure out what to say to get in. I played for an hour, and I still don't get it.
I mean, that was basically my experience playing it the first time. And, I kept getting lucky.
You were so mad. I forgot how mad you were about it. You were
I think I found the ultimate belt.
Wait, so Asher, do you know what game we're talking about?
I think I've played it once, but it's not a huge, part of my life.
It's not a huge part of your life like it was for me.
I don't think it's a huge part of anyone's life.
Oh, it's a huge part of my life. I will forever be scarred.
Yeah, so the trick for the umbrella game is that you say before the word, and if they say before the word, then it's a yes. That was like an evil laugh, Ash.
I love it.
Share the podcasts with your friends who like Digimon, and if your friends don't like Digimon, stop talking to them and pretend that you ran away to the digital world. I like all the errors that are in the sentence.
What?
Share the podcast who like Digimon.
And if you friends don't like Digimon...
Same thing. Share the podcast who like Digimon. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Ashley?
I can't hear Jeff.
What? You can't hear me?
Oh, you cut out for a while, but we heard you say bye, so we all said bye.
Okay, Ashley said it?
I didn't hear you say bye.
I did say bye.
Okay, I just didn't hear you, so it's probably there. Okay. And remember, never stop digivolving. Wait, what was the other one? Digivolve. And remember...
Digivolve your differences.
Wait, let's do it all at once. Wait, right after I say remember, we'll all say it, okay? And remember, Digivolve your differences.
Digivolve your differences. That didn't work.
No.